Coming to you live from beautiful Clipper Magazine Stadium. We have Game 2 of the best-of-3 series tonight between the visiting Road Warriors and your Lancaster Barnstormers. Looking pretty nice tonight, about 80-degree weather. Have a slight breeze coming in from left field, and the sun has decided to peek through the clouds. Just get ready for this one tonight. Getting ready for the lineups. Head over to Brooks for that.
That's right, my name is Brooks Morgan. I'm here with Evan Popalis as we have our lineups right here for you. For the Road Warriors this afternoon, batting leadoff, number 2, Osvaldo Martinez. He's playing shortstop. Number 5, Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz. He's playing second base and batting in the 2 spot. Number 24, Jorge Fernandez Diaz, the right fielder, behind him. Batting cleanup, number 17, Gustavo Pierre, the third baseman. Number 29, Jose Julio Ruiz, the first baseman. 23, Geraldo Valentin is our DH this evening. Number 32, Daniel Aldrich is our left fielder for the Road Warriors. He's batting the 7th spot. Armindo Escobar, number 7, playing catcher tonight and replacing the embattled Logan Weinrich over the last few days. And rounding it off, number 15, Matt Hibbert, the center fielder. Pitching tonight for the Road Warriors, number 30, Michael Lee. He's a righty with a 2-8 record. And your Barnstormers this evening will be batting as follows. Number 7, Darian Sanford. He's out in his customary center field, batting leadoff. Behind him, the speedy number 11, Rico Noel, the second baseman. The right fielder, Blake Galen, in his customary third spot. He's number 2. Behind him, Jimmy Paredes, the third baseman, number 20. He did extremely well last night, so looking for a repeat performance. Ryan Castile, number 3, is our DH left field. Number 32, Anderson De La Rosa, our catcher. Rounding off the 9-3 record coming into this evening's ball game. Our umpires at home, we have Nate Caldwell, first base, Carlos Daño, and at third we have Derek Mosia.
Overall records for these two squads, the Road Warriors coming in with a second half record of 6-25, overall 23-71. Your Lancaster Barnstormers 16-14 in this second half, and a 54-39 overall record. Looking at the standings right now, 3 wins in a row for this Barnstormers squad. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they've opened up a 6.5 game lead in the wild card hunt over the New Britain Bees. The New Britain is in York, just up the road a little bit from us. So the Barnstormers looking to keep building on that lead, as it was just 4 games couple games ago, and good thing for the Stormers, they were able to take 2 or 3 up in New Britain before this series.
That's right. Last night continued that winning streak for them. The Barnstormers had 8 straight singles in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That brought them up to a 6-0 lead. Those 6 runs came on 6 consecutive RBIs for the Barnstormers as they batted around in that bottom of the 3rd inning. The game was ultimately rain-shortened. In those 4.5 innings we did get in, Jimmy Paredes had 3 hits, including a big 2-run double in the 4th. And Joe Gardner, the Barnstormers pitcher last night, pitched all 4 hitless innings as he picked up the win yesterday.
We only played 4.5 innings last night of baseball, but all the action that took place was definitely enough to fulfill a full 9-inning game, as after right fielder Blake Galen was hit by a pitch, both teams were definitely in disagreement, and a couple of bench clearing scenarios.
Absolutely. We don't want to beat a dead horse here, but this is again coming off of an incident that happened last week. With such a tight schedule, they rolled back into town this week, so things got a little excited. Our keys to the game this evening, the big one really is keep your tempers calm. Nate Reed's looking to perform really well tonight. He's got the opportunity to break a big strikeout record as the all-time Barnstormer strikeout leader. He'll be taking that from our coach, Ross Peoples. Excuse me, he's a manager. Our other keys this evening, Evan will be telling you about.
Just have to repeat of what we did last night as a squad. A little bit of a slow start, you could say, but once that 3rd and 4th inning came around, we really put it to the Road Warriors, getting to Rodriguez, the Road Warriors pitcher, putting up 6 runs in the 3rd and another 2 in the bottom of the 4th. and then that basically led to that 8-1 victory. It would have stood anyway, even if it went the full 9. Just happy to get out of here early, you could say.
Absolutely. I think last night, we mentioned it a few times, but it bears repeating that a big reason the Barnstormers were able to get to Rodriguez last night was their ability to work the count. They went lots of full counts, lots of foul balls, lots of 7, 8, 9 pitch counts, and even if the game was not extended, he was knocked out early on, and I really think that was a big piece for them. They tired out the opposing pitcher. They showed that they were capable of playing good baseball. And when you're playing a bad team like the Road Warriors in a less than stellar league like the Atlantic League, that's really going to show with some crooked numbers like we saw last night.
Yeah, you said it, Brooks. With the Road Warriors pitcher Rodriguez, we were just trying to prove a point to him because in his last outing against the Barnstormers only allowed 2 hits through 7 innings. So we're just trying to get back at him for that, and then you could just really see it in Rodriguez's form in the way he was pitching in that 3rd and 4th inning. Just the 3rd. He didn't make it out of the 3rd. Just dead tired, getting really slow in between each pitch, trying to basically gasping for air, and then eventually Barnstormer just kept putting run after run and just pounding this Road Warrior team.
You could really see it on his face. He was literally bent over, hands on his knees, every pitch, just looking in disgust at the score as things just really got out of hand. We've got 2 big notes for you tonight. The first one I kind of alluded to there a minute ago. That is Nate Reed looking to break the all-time Barnstormers career strikeout record. At the moment, Nate is only 1 strikeout away from tying manager Ross Peoples for that all-time lead. Historically, he has 324 strikeouts as a Barnstormer. That's an extremely impressive number, not even having all of 5 seasons with the Barnstormers. 337 innings to do that. He's put up lots of complete games, lots of 7, 8 inning games. He really is the bona fide ace of the Barnstormers, and his record doesn't even necessarily represent that. He's only has a 25-19 record tonight, coming into tonight. Last time Nate Reed was out here, this was last week against Mike Lee again. He gave up 5 hits and 3 runs through 7 innings, including a walk and 6 strikeouts. So he was on point last week. If he can do that again, that seems to be the message. Is just keep going, keep doing what we're doing, stay within yourself. He did give up a 3-run home run to Julio Ruiz, the first baseman, and then he is 1-1 against the Road Warriors this season. Like I mentioned before, he's really the clear ace. Whenever Nate Reed's on the mound, the Barnstormers are looking to pick up the W. He's the only Barnstormer to win in the 2015 playoffs. He's got a record with this team, and he is the only pitcher to pitch a scoreless inning in the All-Star game this year. All very impressive accolades for someone who's looking to kind of add that cherry on top tonight. It'll be neat that his manager is the one he's taking the record from, so we're looking forward to that. Evan will tell you about our other point tonight.
We have Trayvon Robinson back in the lineup. He's been battling a hip injury the last couple of weeks. Manager Ross Peoples just has been looking to bring him back into the lineup slowly. Don't want to overdo it because if this team's looking to make a playoff push, and it looks like they're going to make it right now, they're going to need someone like Trayvon Robinson, that veteran mentality that he brings to this squad, to be able to pick them up with the bat and with his fielding as well.
Absolutely. He's really not any kind of standout offensive performer when you look at his stats within themselves. He's only hitting .275 this year. He played in 80 games. He's only even started 77 of those. He has 4 home runs. He's really not blowing anybody out of the water, but it's those clutch situations. He really comes up with the big doubles, the big triples. He combines some powers to the gaps with speed. He adds a lot to this team, especially being one of the veterans of this squad. So we're excited that after only 1 game last week, coming back from this injury, that he is in a position to hopefully continue with this lineup. And if the team can get it done without him, we'd be terrified to see what they can do, the Road Warriors, with him in the lineup.
Yeah, you alluded to it. Trayvon's numbers might not blow you out of the water, but over the course of this year, he's had so many clutch hits in different scenarios late in ball games to really get this Barnstormer team over the hump to win. Excuse me. And as we said, we're just going to need him later in the year, and hopefully that hip gets 100%. He'll be ready to go.
That's right. We talked to you last night about a couple of Barnstormers players that have just been extremely hot coming into the series, and with a big inning, big inning last night, a big game overall. It looks like a lot of those numbers have been bumped up. Rico Noel picked up his 40th stolen base last year. He and Darian Sanford, our leadoff hitter, have combined for 97 on the year, which ties the tandem from 2005, Quincy Foster and Travis Hake. They also had 97 with lots of this year left to play. Looks like we might be able to get that record tonight as well, which would be very exciting. Ryan Castile, he was a little bit a part of the brouhaha last night. However, he has hit safely in 14 of his last 16 games and in 18 of his last 21. That includes 4 doubles, 3 home runs, and 14 RBIs in his last 15 games. He's very hot. He kind of is. Blake Galen, always on top of his game. We can't say enough about him. We mention him every night we're on here. He's now 29 for his last 75, which is hitting .387. That includes 8 home runs and 18 RBIs in his last 22 games. He's on fire. He's looking to put up MVP type of numbers again, leading in home runs, the same number he had in 2012 already. Really just another great year for the established veteran. And one of the newest players to join the Barnstormers, Jimmy Paredes. He's 11 for 18 in his last 5 games. That brings up his season average to .345. So a lot of Barnstormers players doing extremely well. We're looking to see a little bit more of that tonight. Road Warriors come in tonight struggling. They're obviously now on a 1-game losing streak against the Barnstormers. And I think they're looking to just try and shut them down. They need to come out and show that they can play pitching games, that they can play defensive games, that they can get things done the way they need to get them done. They did put up some runs last night. If you can get 2 runs through 4 innings, or excuse me, 1 run through 4 innings, that's not ideal necessarily, but they got to the Barnstormers. Joe Gardner was starting to tire out. We were starting to see him make a little more mistakes, put himself in some more rough positions, and I'd like to say that, he'd be able to continue that out, but I think things might have got a little more interesting as the game went on.
Completely agree with you, Brooks. We're getting ready to play baseball here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Nate Reed to take the hill, looking to make Barnstormer history tonight. Can the Barnstormers keep the bats going and shut down this Road Warriors team? We're going to find out in a few minutes. We'll be right back for first pitch. Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, getting ready for Game 2 of this 3-game set against the Road Warriors. Lefty ace Nate Reed on the mound for the Stormers tonight, and the defense behind him looks like this. Catching is Anderson De La Rosa. At first base, KC Hobson. Over at second base is going to be Rico Noel. Shortstop Tyler Bortnick tonight. He's in for Vladimir Frias. And over at third base is Jimmy Paredes. He's been on a tear lately with his bat. Out in right field, the all-star Blake Galen. Darian Sanford in center field. And Trayvon Robinson, we talked about him a little bit. Back in the lineup over in left field tonight. And DHing for the Barnstormers tonight, Ryan Castile. Getting ready here, Nate Reed again still is going to try and make Barnstormer history tonight. He just needs 2 more strikeouts to pass former Barnstormer player and current manager Ross Peoples in all-time strikeouts.
That's right, so we might be looking for him to do that this first inning. I'm sure he'd love to just get that out of the way. Anytime you're looking to break a record, you don't want to hang around it. I think last game it was really on his mind. He was 8 away from owning that record, but tonight I think everybody here would expect to see him get it done this evening. So looks like we're only moments away from first pitch. Your batter at the moment is Osvaldo Martinez, shortstop for the Road Warriors.
Martinez steps in, kicks the dirt around, says, I don't want this dirt to be like this anymore. As Reed getting ready to start tonight, Martinez taking his time. And home plate umpire Nate Caldwell says, let's play. Reed winds and deals opening pitch tonight. On the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1 to Martinez.
Martinez is batting .223 this evening.
Second pitch, a little bit inside and high. Going to run the count to 1-1 on Osvaldo.
Maybe not your traditional kind of leadoff guy, but seems like he's been able to get the job done on a few occasions for the Road Warriors.
The 1-1 is outside and high. Going to run it to 2-1 now. As Nate Reed looking to deal quick here early. As the next pitch, popped high into the infield. On the right side, Rico Noel says, I have it over at second base. And he'll bring that one in for the first out of tonight's ball game.
He was almost trotting after with that. Really no concern for him. Bouncing steps over and, yeah, fielded it cleanly just like you said.
Rico looks good. He's been coming off injury. He's been battling injuries all year. Talked about him as we're going to get a lefty-lefty matchup here. As Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz will step in. He's the second baseman.
Hitting .240 coming into the game this evening.
Reed gets the sign, and that one's high and inside. Gets past the glove of De La Rosa.
He has 4 home runs, maybe not as many as some of his Road Warriors teammates, but still a very respectable number for anybody in this league.
Reed's next pitch is hit out to center field. Trotting in a little bit is going to be Sanford, and he'll put this one away easily for out number 2. I've just been watching Nate Reed pitch here early. He's not wasting any time. He has the ball in less than 10 seconds. He's already looking to make his next pitch as Jorge Fernandez-Diaz, the right fielder, steps in. Guy with more power on this Road Warriors squad.
That's right, Evan. He's hitting .241, 10 home runs, 28 RBIs. And to go back to something you said just a moment ago about Reed.
First pitch is inside, off speed. Counts at 1-0.
Seems to be something he's pretty comfortable doing, keeping the pace of the game up. He's a fitter guy, and that's definitely an advantage to a pitcher if he can keep the speed of the game moving.
The 1-0 swung on and missed by Fernandez-Diaz. 1-1 now.
Looks like he swung right over the top of that. Nice violent hack for Diaz.
And the 1-1 offering from Reed. Swung right back up the middle. Almost took Reed out.
I don't know if he was ready for that one. He really didn't react much besides throwing his glove up.
Right back over the middle for a base hit. A 2-out base hit. Now the Road Warriors is going to look to start a rally as a third baseman, Gustavo Pierre, who's leading this squad in home runs, will step in.
Pierre's hoping to extend this inning, let their big first baseman, Jose Julio Ruiz, warming up in the on-deck circle right now, give him an opportunity to get some runs in himself as well.
12 home runs for Pierre, 33 RBIs. The tall right-hander is in, as Reed's going to come from the stretch. First pitch, right in there for a called strike, 0-1.
Pierre getting into his batting stance, warms up with a bat very well over his head, some small looping circles. He tends to have a very controlled swing, not too much power, not too many moving parts.
The 0-1 from Reed. Outside, 1-1 the count. He's been keeping his eye on Fernandez Diaz over there at first. Don't think we're going to see him taking off here, but you never know.
Blake Galen, the right fielder, seems to really enjoy staying back up against that high right field wall. Likes to keep things in front of him as he's almost at the warning track here.
Oh, Fernandez Diaz does take off, but Pierre swings and fouls it back to the backstop. Count runs to 1-2.
Well, it's got to be very comforting for a right fielder to know that you have Darian Sanford over in center field. They call him Primetime Sanford, or the Sandman. He's well known for having the wheels on the base paths, but he can use that to his advantage when playing some defense as well. So Gale doesn't need to worry about ranging too far over. He can stay where everything's in front of him, back up against that right field wall. Sanford's
got a long range, as it looks like there's a huge hole out here in both gaps in the outfield, but he can easily track it down as the pitch comes up high. It's going to go to 2-2 now on Gustavo Pierre, the third baseman. We talked about a few seconds ago, Julio Ruiz is in the on-deck circle. Reed with an eye over at Fernandez Diaz at first. And here comes the pitch. Right on the outside part of the plate, a called strike 3 on Pierre. That's going to tie manager Ross Peoples. Let's see if he can come back in the top of the second and make history tonight for the Barnstormers. We're heading to the bottom of the first. Only one hit for the Road Warriors in that half. We'll be right back. Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium as we're getting ready for the bottom of the first inning, right-handed pitcher Michael Lee with a 2-8 record for the Road Warriors takes the hill. And catching for him tonight will be Armando Escobar. Over at first base, Jose Julio Ruiz. Second baseman, Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz. Over at shortstop, Osvaldo Martinez. At third base, Gustavo Pierre. In the outfield, over in right field, Jorge Fernandez Diaz. In center field, we have Matt Hibbert. And in left field, Daniel Aldrich. Their DH tonight is Geraldo Valentin. Coming up now to the batter's box is the quick, speedy Darian Sanford, the center fielder.
That's right. He now owns 2 Barnstormers records, most stolen bases in a single season, and most career as a Barnstormer. So really a big season for him. He's only 1 stolen base away from from taking the duo stolen base record. Not a common one to hear about, but we've got a few really speedy runners. First pitch swinging as Sanford picks that one over to left field. It's going to get down in front of Aldrich. That's a leadoff single for Sanford. You see right now Rico Noel stepping into bat. He has a very nice record on top of some quick wheels. He and Sanford are the duo I mentioned a moment ago, looking to break that duo stolen base record. They got the opportunity here with Sanford on. Noel batting .300 on the year. They finally got a home run to call his own and 20 RBIs.
Lee's going to be busy now, keeping an eye on Sanford at first. Probably going to try and take second at some point in this at-bat with Noel in.
He's getting that little knee-jerk action going on. You know he's at least interested in running.
He won't go this time as the first pitch to Noel is inside. Count goes to 1-0. The infield for the Road Warriors. Pretty standard besides the third baseman, Gustavo Pierre. He's on the infield grass.
I believe our second baseman, Rodriguez Ortiz, is pretty light on his feet. It looks like he's getting ready to cover in the event of a steal as Lee throws over there.
Yeah, quick throw over to first by Lee, but Sanford's easily going to get back in time. As it counts 1-0 to Rico Noel. As Lee gets ready to deal here.
Noel has a nice back and forth choppy motion in his stance.
Sanford back in time to first as Lee appeals again.
It really tells a lot about his stance, their pre-pitch positioning. Noel likes that choppy setup. It gets him in position to make a nice short swing, put the ball in play, not trying to bash anything out of here.
Just looking to try and make some contact. Sanford with a decent-sized lead. He doesn't need much to get going over to second. Starts and stops this time as Noel drops a bunt down the first base line. Pitcher comes out with a lead, flips it over, and in time, getting Noel out at first. The flip from Lee to Julio Ruiz is in time to get him out. Sanford will move over to second base, putting him in scoring position early as the right fielder Blake Galen now will step in.
Noel took a little bit of a jump last second trying to get to the bag. He realized he was close to getting a successful bunt down, but I think that hop might have actually been the reason he wasn't safe. He had kept his nose down, and I know it goes against instinct. It's easy for anybody sitting up in a broadcast booth to say, but players really got to focus on just getting to the bag, keeping their feet low, get to the bag as fast as possible, as opposed to diving or hopping the way Noel just did.
Some nice physicality from the pitcher Michael Lee to be able to scoop that up and flip it over to first in time as manager Ellie Rodriguez of the Road Warriors talking with home plate umpire Nate Caldwell. Just a little going back and forth from the dugout. As Galen steps in. Sanford on second. The first pitch to Galen is down low and inside a little bit. Ball one in the on-deck circle. Jimmy Paredes. He's playing over at third base tonight.
Sanford, we can't say enough about how fast he is. At second base, he's already not just in regular scoring position, but anything out of the infield really is going to score him. So look to keep Lee keeping the ball down and away for Galen. Can't put too much pop into it and get it too far away.
Second pitch to Galen is outside, so the count is 2-0, and talking about anything out of the infield is basically going to be a run here for the Barnstormers. This is still a situation where Sanford could steal third. He's done that many of times this year, as it's 2-0 on Galen. And the pitch from Lee. A little bit low one again. And it's going to be 3-0 to Blake Galen, and at this point, maybe you just say, start with the next guy, bring Paredes up, chance to get a double play maybe.
I don't know, last night they had some success against Bell. He was in a 3-0 type of situation like we see here. And he threw a nice strike. Bell didn't swing. They play very fundamental baseball for the Barnstormers. That's exactly what we see here as Lee delivers a strike. An opportunity to get a little bit of a leg up against Galen. He's not going to swing at anything.
There's a fastball on the outside part of the plate to Blake Galen. Didn't totally agree with that call from Caldwell, the home plate ump. But it's 3-1, still a hitter's count for Blake. As Lee looks to get Blake out here. The pitch. It's going to be an off-speed pitch down low. It's going to be ball four to Galen. And that'll bring up Jimmy Paredes with men on first and second base.
I mentioned a few times tonight the different pre-pitch stances batters will go through. Galen almost stands perfectly still. He's a consummate professional on and off the field. And I think it shows again in his stance. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't need to get too geeked up to swing the bat. Just gets in position, knows he's got the bat speed, knows he's got the bat position to do what he needs to do.
He's been hot lately after somewhat of a slow start here with the Barnstormers. And now he's trying to drive in a run, maybe two, in this at-bat. Ryan Castile in the on-deck circle. He's the DH. First pitch, and it's going to be a double steal. Throw down to second. They're going to get Galen. Didn't even try to throw over to third. Sanford got in. So now it's going to be Jimmy Paredes with a 1-0 count, I believe.
Darren Sanford doesn't look totally okay. He was upset after the steal, pounded his fist on the bag, knees in the dirt. He's getting up a little gingerly. Not sure what that's all about. I think they're a little worried about that. Looks like Ross Peoples talking to him now. It may just have been about a late start, though. I think Sanford was looking to get the throw down to himself because he knows he can beat it out. But Galen was the target, and they got him after he got an extremely late start. Very poor jump.
So now the count's 1-0 to Jimmy Paredes. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Second pitch is down low. Escobar does a good job staying with it, as Sanford has to stay over at third.
You're not used to seeing this, but the catcher actually looked down to third base after the pitch to watch Sanford head back to the bag. I mean, it's not like he's going to steal home, but they're still eyeing him up over there. Catcher Armindo Escobar is. So I'm not sure what this is all about.
Escobar is going to take a trip out to the mound, talking with Lee. Just making sure they got the signals right. Shortstop Martinez goes to step in, and Lee says, "Nope, just between us.
We got this, no worries."
As Escobar heads back to home plate, count is 1-1.
Looks like our momentary injury concerns there a second ago for Sanford were unwarranted. He looks to be comfortable again, probably just upset about some part of the play they pulled off.
2 outs here in the bottom of the first. We got a 0-0 ball game so far. Barnstormers looking to drive a run home. As Paredes hits one out to right field. Fernandez-Diaz coming in. He's going to lay out. He's not going to make it. Off the glove. Paredes turns around. He was thinking about 2, but a nice play by Rodriguez-Ortiz, the second baseman, running out to right field. As Darian Sanford will come home, and the Barnstormers will go up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Paredes almost lost his balance getting back to the bag. He rounded, and he looked like a little kid trying to stop himself from falling in a pool. His arms were swinging violently, and he was back on his heels as he turned high and retreated back to first base after Fernandez-Diaz did, in fact, recover the baseball.
Ryan Castile, the DH, will step in, and I think Paredes just thought he had way more time, but as I said, Rodriguez-Ortiz, the second baseman, did a good job hustling out there to scoop that ball up after the diving attempt by Fernandez-Diaz, as pitch 1 is called strike to Ryan Castile, 0-1.
Yeah, that probably turns into an error and then a stolen base if the ball does get away from Fernandez-Diaz, and Rodriguez-Ortiz, wow, that's a lot of names right there, cannot run it down, but he does, keeps him at first. I think Paredes is getting a little excited.
Castile swings, and it's a chopper down the third baseline foul as manager Ross Peoples over at third base tosses it over to the bat boy. And the count is now 0-2 to Ryan Castile, 2 away, but the Barnstormers able to get Sanford home, and they own a 1-0 lead.
Castile, with 2 strikes against him, has a average of .301 coming into this evening. 10 home runs, 46 RBIs, and he didn't even start the year batting every day for the Barnstormers, so it's a big opportunity there.
Pitch from Lee is in the dirt. Looked like a slider. Nice play by Escobar to stay with it, keeping Paredes over at first, and then sort of made a peel like he was going to try and throw down to first, but Paredes gets back.
One might even call it a pump fake, getting him back into position. Paredes looked like a tap dancer jumping around trying to figure out what the heck he's supposed to do right now.
Counts 1-2 to Ryan Castile, designated hitter. And the pitch from Lee is a ball, and then a throw down to second. Paredes was trying to steal second, and it gets away from Rodriguez-Ortiz, as Paredes is going to be safe at second.
A better throw there probably gets him. He looked like he was going to be hung out to dry. A great throw in terms of speed and timing, but the positioning was just not the Road Warriors' friend there.
I think Escobar thought that pitch was going to be strike 3 because it took him a second or two to just gather himself to make that throw down. It was unbalanced throw, and it missed the second baseman, Rodriguez-Ortiz, by probably 5 feet almost. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, he had to leave the bag there, arms outstretched, still wasn't able to rescue it from its depths of the outfield, so
So the count is 2-2 now to Ryan Castile. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and another man in scoring position. Paredes on second. The pitch from Lee is down again, and it gets
2-0. Paredes here will comfortably steal another base.
Pitch gets away from Escobar as Paredes just jogs over to third, and now he steals second. Wild pitch gets him over to third, and now all of a sudden, anything out of the infield will bring in Paredes.
Anything safe out of the infield. There are 2 outs against Castile, and he knows it. He's not trying to put too much air under the ball because a pop fly does them no good. A nice line drive out of the infield, though, is always suitable to get a man in from third.
It's a full count, 2 away. Here comes the pitch, and it's popped up down the right field line. Julio Ruiz, chasing, but it's going to land into the seats as it's going to remain full. Didn't know if he was going to have a chance to make a play on that as the Barnstormers bullpen pitchers hopping out of the way.
Yeah, here in the Atlantic League, all of our bullpens are not actually outside of any kind of fences or anything. They're just right up against the side of the field. So our bullpen pitchers, are just kind of lounging, watching the game. But that puts them in a bit of a danger zone for those types of foul balls.
3-2. Swinging another chopper, and that'll go right over to the bat boy. Almost hopped into the Road Warriors dugout down on the third base line. It's going to remain 3-2, and this is going to be pitch number 8, I believe, of the at-bat, as Castile making Lee work for this final out.
It's a full count now.
Lee's getting the signs right now from Escobar, the catcher. Castile seems confident in there.
Middle of the infield is back out against the edge of the outfield grass.
And pitch gets into the dirt. Escobar able to keep it in front, though. It's going to be ball 4. Castile will take first, as Jimmy Paredes was looking to try and make a play to come home, but Escobar was able to stop that ball enough, so he didn't have the chance. So we're going to have runners on the corners, 2 away, as Casey Hobson, the first baseman, will step in. He had some difficulties first when he came. He's been, I can say he's getting better.
He struggled originally, dropping so far down as the 7 and 8 spots in recent weeks. However, his more recent surge has allowed him to return up to more of the middle part of the lineup. He's batting 6th here tonight.
First pitch to Hobson, well outside. Off-speed pitch got away from Lee. As the count is 1-0. Hobson, first baseman, batting in the 6th spot tonight for the Barnstormers. As when he arrived, he was more of a cleanup hitter, or he was hitting 5th some nights, but as you said, he's dropped down to the 6th and 7th spots. As 1-0 is in the dirt. Again, another pitch in the dirt from Lee. A little bit of wild control here in the opening inning.
Yeah, one could say maybe not quite as worrisome as last night for the Road Warriors, what they saw with Rodriguez. He was looking to hit his spots and was struggling, especially as he started to get tired. I think Lee here, just looking for a lower pitch, got away from him some. It's hard to control some of those breaking balls, especially early in the night. Still trying to find your feel.
Count is 2-0. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first as pitch right down the middle. Hobson takes. It's 2-1, and you're right. He's going to look for a lower pitch because one fastball up in the zone here, and Casey Hobson could give that ball a ride, and it's 4-0 already.
Got quite a few fans out in the right field and center field.
Rips one right down the first base line. It's a fair ball, went right over top of the bag. Paredes scores. Castile's on his way to third. It's going to be held up there. It's going to be an RBI double for Casey Hobson, as that's going to make the score 2-0 now for your Lancaster Barnstormers, as the left fielder Trayvon Robinson will step in.
We're not used to seeing Casey Hobson hustle like that. He managed to find a double for himself out of that play, but in the process looked a little bit like a penguin wearing swimming flippers. His feet were chopping, his arms were flying around, but I managed to get in there safe. Makes it a 2-0 game here tonight for the Barnstormers, already in the first inning.
Yeah, and Julio Ruiz, the first baseman for the Road Warriors, was holding Castile on the bag and then came off when the pitch was delivered and still was unable to get back in time. That's how hard that ball was hit, and it hopped right over the bag. So now it's runners on second and third for the Barnstormers. Here comes Trayvon Robinson.
The only thing I can say in his defense, Julio Ruiz, is that all of his momentum was going the other direction. It can be hard sometimes to plant your feet and turn around. His best hope was really just to fall. It's exactly what he did, but it was not quite enough there. And Hobson doubles.
First pitch to Trayvon is outside. The count is 1-0.
This is the first pitch of live baseball that Trayvon Robinson has seen in about a week since his return from a even longer hiatus with the Barnstormers after that injury.
Second pitch of the at-bat is basically the same as the first, outside, and it's going to be 2-0 to Trayvon. 3 hits for the Barnstormers this inning, 2 runs, as they have put together some good 2-out hitting here early in this one. Here comes the pitch from Lee. Trayvon's going to take that one just low, and that'll run it to 3-0 now.
Middle infield still back up against the edge of the outfield grass. I've mentioned it a few times, our right fielder tonight, Fernandez Diaz for the Road Warriors, is fairly far out against our right field wall, not quite up at the warning track like Galen was. I think that's just a supplement of the games we see here, where a lot of offense comes to that right field perch off that wall.
Change up. Trayvon swings right over the top of it to make it 3-1. As I look over to left field, Aldrich for the Road Warriors is pretty far in. If Trayvon can just hit one hard the other way, I know that's very difficult, more difficult than it sounds. But if he could hit one over his head, could easily be a double or triple.
These are the kind of plays that Trayvon Robinson thrives on.
As pitch number 5 of the at-bat is outside, and Trayvon's going to get a base-on ball here as he heads down to first, and it's going to be bases loaded for the catcher, Anderson De La Rosa. And this is a big part of this game here early. If Anderson's able to get some more runners home, he's going to try and blow this one open early.
Same thing as last night, looking at the early offense, reassure their pitchers that, hey, we got you, we're going to win tonight's game, you just got to go do your thing. Bringing it back to a moment ago, Trayvon Robinson, we've always talked about him being a clutch player, but obviously he's a smart player too. He's not going to try and force something. With 3 balls, he's content to take the walk, load the bases, bring up the solid hitter, Anderson De La Rosa.
Exactly. De La Rosa looking to help out his pitcher, as the first pitch of the AB is right down the middle, and De La Rosa is not liking it though. Look pretty good from up here, as we have the shortstop Tyler Bortnick waiting on deck, as Castile is on third, Hobson on second, and Robinson on first. 2 outs, and the Road Warriors unable to get out of this inning so far. De La Rosa fouls one off the inside part of his foot, and the count will run 0-2.
Bortnick on deck after De La Rosa here is electing not to use the on-deck circles, actually in the edge of the infield grass, trying to get his timing down right. A little bit of a dangerous position. The number of foul balls De La Rosa is known to hit. He really likes to extend these ABs.
So it's 0-2. 2 away. Score is 2-0 in favor of your length.
Escobar hopped up for it.
Maybe trying to make De La Rosa chase one upstairs, but that was just a little bit too high. It was a headhunter.
Yeah, a little silly if that was his intended location.
1-2. Lee's making sure he's got the right sign with Escobar.
Robinson's taking a healthy lead.
Here comes the pitch, and De La Rosa smacks one out to center field. Heading back is Hibbert. He's going to be able to make the catch. Decently hit ball, but right over to Hibbert. So that'll end the first inning here. Good inning for the Barnstormers. They come home with 2 runs, but they're going to leave the bases loaded. We're heading to the top of the second. Road Warriors will be up to bat.
Robinson was a little disappointed, as I think all of the Barnstormers were. They thought that was a nice offensive opportunity for themselves, but as he said, couldn't get it done. A little bit of disappointment, but only the first inning. Lots of opportunities for the Barnstormers to continue the big game.
Coming up for the Road Warriors, Julio Ruiz, Valentin, and Aldrich. We'll be right back. Back here for the top of the second inning in Lancaster, as Nate Reed is just one strikeout away from breaking the Barnstormers' all-time record for strikeouts in a career. Right now tied with former Barnstormer player, current manager Ross Peoples. He's just one strikeout away, so let's see if he can get it done here in the top of the second inning, as Jose Julio Ruiz will step in, and these two have a little bit of history dating back to last week. We'll get to that in a second, as the first pitch is outside, 1-0. As in last week's game, a home run hit by Julio Ruiz, just a little bit slow to go around the bases, and Reed didn't like that, as pitch 2 is right down the middle, 1-1 the count. And then later in the game, Reed decided to hit Julio Ruiz with a pitch, and that started what we're going to call this little rivalry here. Is a hard hit ball over to shortstop, and it gets right into the chest of Tyler Bortnick, and that's not going to be able to make a play on that one. Julio Ruiz will reach safely. See how they score that one. I'm assuming they're going to give him a hit.
Designated hitter.
And they have. It was a hard hit ball. Tough to make a play as it kind of hit the pitcher's mound a little bit.
Julio Ruiz and now Valentin are looking to change up the score a little bit. It's 2-0 on the evening in the favor of the Barnstormers, but they're going to have a tough time against the ace, Nate Reed.
Couple hits early given up by Reed. Still looking to get into a little bit of a rhythm, as the first pitch to Geraldo Valentin is in there for a called strike. Reed's been working very quickly, pretty effectively so far, as he ended the top of the first with a strikeout against Gustavo Pierre. As the 0-1 is, I guess, like more of a check swing foul down the first baseline. Running the count to 0-2 now against Valentin.
Pitch looked like it might have been causing a fair ball instead of a foul, as Hobson kind of ambled his way after it, but it bounced foul pretty quickly.
Not trying to get too antsy, but let's see if you can do it right here. Here comes the 0-2, and it's upstairs. 1-2, trying to make Valentin chase, but he's not going to bite.
You almost want to call that a pitch out again. De La Rosa was standing straight up and immediately eyed Julio Ruiz at first, but they might have been forgetting Julio Ruiz is a first baseman, really not the stolen base type of guy.
As the 1-2 is outside to Valentin. Going to round the count even at 2-2. Yeah, Nate has his eyes over there on Julio Ruiz, but pretty certain he's not going to go far. I'm trying to steal bases.
He has less than a 6-foot lead, maybe call it 5 feet there. Not even to the edge of the cutout in the infield grass, and not making any motions like he's going to steal. I think it might just be habitual for Reed. He likes to keep an eye over there, likes to keep that as part of his rhythm.
2-2 pitch was inside. Valentin had to back out of the way a little bit, so it's full now. 3-2. And here comes the pitch from Reed. Swing and hit hard out to center field. Sanford played it wrong at first, but is able to leap and make the grab. Stuck that glove up. As that's going to be the first out of the inning. Julio Ruiz gets back over to first. Sanford thought that one was going to die, but started carrying on him.
Yeah, he flipped his hips right, left again. Did not seem to get a hang of it, but when you're a small, speedy, athletic guy like Darian Sanford, you really don't have to worry too much about your ability to play a ball off the bat, because you can get to where you need to a little bit later, and that's what he does. Runs it down, throws his glove up over his shoulder, makes the play. I think he was almost as surprised as we were, to be honest.
Still a little bit of a breeze blowing in from left field, as the batter is Daniel Aldrich, and the first pitch to him is high and inside. Don't think he liked that pitch, but no damage done. His count is 1-0 to him. Julio Ruiz with probably only a 5-foot lead off of first. It's a swing and a miss.
That might have actually been a foul ball. He just caught the top of it. Seemed to die pretty quick. I thought I heard a bit of a scuffling sound. Aldrich's only batting 174 on the year, a home run and 4 RBIs of his own. Really not making too many waves. He's a fairly recent acquisition for the Road Warriors.
1-1 the count to Aldrich. The catcher Escobar waiting in the on-deck circle as the pitch. As I don't really know where that one missed, but it's 2-1. I guess they're going to call it a little bit high.
Looked to be about chest high. Aldrich's taller guys. They tend to get the benefit of the doubt there. anything towards the upper end, they're not going to really look for him to give. Try and keep a fairly consistent strike zone.
Time called. Just want to regather here. Counts 2-1 to Aldrich. One away. Here in the top of the second, Barnstormers lead in this one 2-0. And the pitch from Reed is right on the outside part of the plate. And once again, don't really know where that one missed.
That pitch was looked like he might have held on to it a little long, brought it down a little low. Nate Reed's pitching motion is very forward, very consistent, not a whole lot of extra pieces moving around, and sometimes that can happen just a little too direct.
3-1 is right in there finally for a called strike 2. So we're going to have a full count here.
Aldrich looks like he's looking over his shoulder, looking to umpire Nate Caldwell, questioning it a little bit. Not too sure about that one, but maybe not in the name of consistency, but in the name of realism, that is called a strike.
Lefty v lefty matchup here. The 3-2 swung on and fouled off into the netting, as it's going to remain 3-2. Aldrich able to stay alive. As
the bat boy ducks around the catcher Armindo Escobar in the on-deck circle to get over to pick that ball up.
As the Barnstormers fielders are in normal position. No shift on here. As it remains 3-2, one away. Road Warriors have 2 hits in the game so far.
Was getting to it earlier, got a little cut off by some excitement.
Swing and a miss, he got him, and Nate Reed has broken the career strikeout record for Barnstormers history. 326 strikeouts for Reed, surpassing manager Ross Peoples.
It's really a big day for Nate Reed, big day for everybody involved. They're going to be holding on to that ball. He tips his cap here.
He gives the fans are embracing the new record.
Duly excited.
And it's truly just been a great season so far for Nate Reed. He has a 9-3 record, an all-star. As you said earlier, he was the only one to pitch scoreless inning, or hitless. Hitless inning.
Scoreless inning. That's all right. Still getting our numbers put together. That was out in Long Island. But Nate Reed here, now the owner of a very impressive record, and a record that really shows some longevity to be able to stay with a team and move, even despite his movings around as much as he has. So being that good, you got to have a bit of a mindset. We're back at it, not want to soak up the limelight for too long. Counts now 2-0.
2-0 on the catcher Armindo Escobar. Man over at first, that's Julio Ruiz. He'll stay put as that pitch fooled Escobar. He thought it was going to run inside, tried to hop out of the way, but it's right down the middle, and it's 2-1.
I'm going to take my third crack at explaining the environment we've got going on here tonight. There are a lot of fans here. They got to see a treat with that record right there. Not something you get to see every night, especially out in right field. Quite a few fans hanging around. Provides a lot of energy, a lot of excitement for the Barnstormers, especially. Might be contributing to some early offense that they have here.
As Escobar fouls one down the left field line, as it lands right in the patch of grass right before the Kids Park here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The count is 2-2. 2 away here in the top of the second to Armindo Escobar, the Road Warrior catcher. He's in for Isaac Wenrick tonight, who I guess you could say got ejected from last night's game and probably still
just say it. You'd be saying it for real. That is exactly what happened, Evan.
Probably feeling a little bit sour still today, so he'll sit. Reed's pitch is fouled off hard by Escobar down the third base line.
Our 2 catchers here right now were the ones that came in to replace the 2 catchers ejected last night. So instead of Weinrich and Castile in the batter's box and catcher's crouch respectively, we have Escobar and the Barnstormers. You can't really call him a backup, but alternate catcher maybe De La Rosa.
With just the skill of Ryan Castile, Anderson De La Rosa is the backup, as this one's hit hard over to the shortstop, Tyler Bortnick. He'll just jog it over to the second base bag on the putout to get out Julio Ruiz, and that'll do it here for the top of the second inning. 1 hit for the Road Warriors. We're going to head to the bottom half of the second inning. Coming up for your Barnstormers, Tyler Bortnick, Darian Sanford, and Rico Noel.
We are back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Tyler Mornick getting himself warmed up in the on-deck circle. The short, traditionally second baseman, playing shortstop tonight, is batting 180 on the season as he steps here into the batter's box.
Not too often you start the second inning hitting and you're at your number 9 guy already, but that's what it's going to be.
One managed to bat around last inning.
One batter here in the bottom of the second, and we'll be right back to the top of the order. See if the Barnstormers can repeat what they did in their half of the first, and that's putting runs up on the board as they lead 2-0 over the Road Warriors right now. The first pitch from Michael Lee is inside, and Bortnick will take for ball 1.
Score is 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. Barnstormers looking for a repeat of that first big inning for themselves.
Second pitch of the at-bat is swung and a foul tip into the glove of Armindo Escobar, the Road Warrior catcher. And it's 1-1 on Bortnick. Barnstormers almost bat around in the first inning, but only have 3 hits. You would expect more. As 1-1 is hit over to the second baseman, Rodriguez Ortiz. He comes up with it cleanly, able to throw it over to Julio Ruiz, and that'll be the first out in the home half of the second.
I think that's just showing some good signs Barnstormers looking for here out of Lee. He's not having great command this evening, and anytime you get those types of opportunities, you don't need to make it happen yourself. You can let the other team give you the bases. They'll take it, especially with the notorious base running the Barnstormers have accrued this year.
Speaking of good base running, center fielder Darian Sanford, most stolen bases in the Atlantic League, is up now. And here comes his first pitch. Right down the middle for a called strike, 0-1.
Last time up, Darian singled and ended up scoring as he made his way around second, third, and home consecutively.
Pitch number 2 of the at-bat is inside for a ball. And it's 1-1. One out here in the bottom of the second. And Rico Noel's in the on-deck circle. Pitch to Sanford, low again, 2-1. Lee trying to have a good bounce-back inning. He had a good start to the game, but the Barnstormers were able to do some good 2-out rally. 2-1 pitch. Swung and a small chopper back right past the mound. Quick running in by Fernandez Ortiz, but it's not going to be in time. Sanford outruns that one. It was a slow dribbler. Was able to get past the pitcher Lee. Rodriguez Ortiz made a nice play on it, but Sanford just too quick and is able to beat out that throw.
Road Warriors looking at each other like they might be rolling their eyes, but that was the right call. Sanford did, in fact, run that out. And anybody but Darian Sanford's probably out there. It got past Lee, died a little bit in front of Rodriguez Ortiz, but he came on strong, was able to field it, expected it to be his all the way. But Sanford that's just what he does. That's who he is.
Noel will step in now and get ready for his first pitch. Sanford's taken off. Pitch is low, and he's in there in time, and it's another stolen base for Darian Sanford.
Armindo Escobar is having some troubles tonight getting the ball down the second for that stolen base attempt. It's the second time he's probably been the source of the error, the throwing error there. And they have yet to get anybody on those stolen bases. It's caused a lot of successful attempts.
Get ready here. It's 1-0 to Noel. Escobar looked like a slider right there. Is outside and low. It's going to run 2-0 now to Noel.
Noel recorded an out earlier, hoping to get back up to at least 500 BA on the evening with a hit here.
So here comes the 2-0, and that's in there for a called strike. 2-1 now, 1 away. And the right fielder, Blake Galen, is in the on-deck circle. Sorry. He walked in his first at-bat. Sanford with a hefty leadoff second. Pitch to Noel is down low, and it is 3-1 now. The second baseman, Rodriguez Ortiz, He's probably about 10 feet off of second base, trying to hold Sanford back, but Rico Noel, he's pretty good at finding holes, especially in the infield, so you got to stay true over to that second base side. Sanford stays again as it's fouled right in front of the plate.
Big swing for Noel there. Lee really needed to make a great pitch to avoid putting the ball in Noel's roundhouse and still be able to keep himself comfortable with 3 balls. That is what he does. Noel clips it, and we're here at 3-2.
Full count. Rico decides to strap up the gloves harder.
Wiggles around a touch.
As Lee gets set to deal, Sanford playing a couple games with him, and Rico lines one into left field over the glove of Osvaldo Martinez. Here comes Sanford around. He's coming home to the plate. Throw is dropped. Escobar unable to hold on to that one, and Sanford comes around to score.
If he's able to hold on to that, that might be out. It depends all on the tag. It was very close. It would have been a bang-bang play, but with the drop, it's a clear, safe call.
It was a decent throw from the left fielder, Aldrich. I thought Sanford was going to hold up at third, but that thought never crossed his mind.
No, by the time he was at third, he was confident he was going. Man's a bit of a lunatic. He's also extremely high in the caught stealing category because of his aggressive base running, but that is successful tonight for him.
So Blake Galen steps in now. First pitch is inside and low. Escobar able to stay in front of that one. Counts 1-0 as Sanford comes home for his second run of the night and the Barnstormers' third as a club. Noel over at first. Galen the hitter, as I mentioned, with 1 out.
His 22 home runs leads the league right now. I alluded to it earlier this season in 2012 where he...
Noel's taken off for second. The throw this time is in time. Escobar is able to throw out Noel. This one was right on the money, right where it had to be. Didn't even have to move his glove, really.
Despite that, the crowd was a little unconvinced, offering up some boos at home plate umpire Nate Caldwell.
It was a pretty good jump, but the throw was better, as Noel has the slow trot back to the Barnstormer dugout, and now it's 2 away.
Like I mentioned, Blake Galen in 2012 won the Atlantic League Player of the Year award as well as the Baseball America Independent Player of the Year award with the same number of home runs that he has now. So it would be a personal high for him to get up to 23 on the season. In the Atlantic League, which tends to have a lot of quality pitchers as opposed to quality power hitters, that's really impressive.
So the 2-0 was in there was a swinging strike, and now this next pitch is a check swing, but home plate ump Nate Caldwell says he went, and now it's 2-2 to Galen. And here comes the 2-2 as he hits this one down the left field line, but it's going to slice out of play. Aldrich had no play on that one, and it remains 2-2.
Galen put a charge into that ball just in the wrong direction. Instead of forward, it went right up, and once it got up, it kind of caught some wind and flailed its way out to left field, probably about 150, maybe 200 feet down the line.
2-2 to Galen. He's going to pop this one up again. It's going to get shallow in the outfield grass, but the second baseman, Rodriguez Ortiz, calls off the center fielder and right fielder, makes the catch, and that'll end the second inning. Another run for the Barnstormer, able to come home, as we're going to head to the top of the third inning here at beautiful Clipper Magazine Stadium. Your Lancaster Barnstormers leading the Road Warriors 3-0.
Matt Hibbert.
Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium to start the top of the third inning, as Nate Reed is now the pitcher in Barnstormer history with the most strikeouts to his name. As we get ready here in the top of the third, as the center fielder Matt Hibbert is up to bat. He's the number 9 hitter. We'll be back to the top of the order after him
with Osvaldo Martinez.
And the count is quickly 2-0. Talk about Reed. He's quickly dealing tonight, and now it's back to business. Finally able to get that stardom.
Hibbert continues the Road Warrior trend of not being extremely successful in the average category. He's only hitting .226 on the year, no home runs, 8 RBIs. Sounds like more of a 9-hole hitter. The only problem is in the Road Warriors lineup, you really could put him anywhere below the 5 spot and make sense.
As the 3-0 was taken for a called strike. 3-1, just trying to make Reed throw more pitches. He's been working quickly, so he's not throwing as many pitches. Really, so far, I believe he's only been in one long count. He had 1-3-2 count early in this one, as that one's fouled down the first baseline. Takes a couple tricky hops in the seating bowl, but able to be corralled by one fan as he's going to toss it over to a young girl.
That's correct. The speed with which Reed pitches really is designed to throw off hitters' game.
This one's hit back over the middle. However, the second baseman Noel's able to make a play on it, throws it over to Hobson, and it's going to be the first out of the inning.
Very impressive play all around. Noel threw it on the run, headed almost the wrong direction. Noel headed towards the bag, almost behind the pitcher's mound by the time he got a hold of the ball, and Hobson had to reach over his head to snag it, but everybody involved got the job done, and there's now 1 out on the inning.
Back to the top of the order as Osvaldo Martinez steps in, the shortstop. He was able to base hit his first time up. First pitch from Reed is down low. Ball 1. And early in this game, still only top of the third, we've had 3 balls been hit either off the pitcher's mound or very close to going right off the pitcher's mound. As, wow, Martinez rips one. It's going to head over foul territory down the left field line. Trayvon looking to make a play, but that was over by the kids' park.
That was a full body lash at that pitch. His whole body torqued around. He bucket stepped some. His head flew out of the zone, and he ripped that thing right down the left field line. I think if he had that same power but stayed true to his stance, he might have been able to get a very successful play out of it.
As the 1-1 is called strike on the outside part of the plate, and Martinez was looking to hit that one into the Lancaster Knight here. Trying to send that one over to our rival York. As the 1-2 is fouled up and over the press box.
Alright, Nate Reed stepping back in on the pitcher's mound, getting himself organized here. Looking in for the sign. He's slowing down some here. Probably starting to tire out, starting to play a little bit more intentionally.
1-2 is low and inside. Martinez gets out of the way. 2-2 now. This looks like breeze is starting to pick up a little bit. The flag is fully flowing as that one's hit out to right center field. It's going to get down. Sanford chasing over there quickly, though. He's going to be able to cut this off, so it's only a single for Martinez. That's his second hit of the game.
That's right. I think that that breeze might be affecting some of the offense. It's blowing almost directly in towards center field. It's got a bit of a rightward swing to it, and that's really not going to help a lot of balls looking to get out of the park. The favorite spot in Clipper Magazine Stadium for a round tripper is right over that right field wall, but anything that gets high enough in that area is going to be caught by the wind and probably sent foul.
Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz, the second baseman, steps in. As the first pitch from Reed is inside. Lefty-lefty matchup here, as Rodriguez is actually having a pretty good game so far out in the field. He's made a couple nice plays early. Count is 1-0 with 1 out. Score 3-0 Lancaster.
Hobson is holding Martinez on here. He runs anyways.
Martinez took off, hit over to shortstop. Bortnick was heading over to second to cover the bag on the steal. He has to retrace his steps, but is able to throw out Rodriguez Ortiz at first. Martinez able to get over to second, so it's going to be 2 away with Jorge Fernandez-Diaz, the right fielder, stepping in. But at least the Road Warriors, in their case, have a man on second in scoring position.
Between the jump and the pre-pitch positioning by Martinez, I'm inclined to believe that there was a hit-and-run call on there, and that Melvin Rodriguez-Ortiz just couldn't quite get the ball to the right side of the plate.
First pitch to Fernandez-Diaz. It's an off-speed pitch down in the dirt. 1-0. De La Rosa was able to stay with that one. And Martinez had to hold up at second. 1-0 with 2 away here. Reed, quick glance over to second base. Martinez is going to stay as the pitch. Called strike on the inner part of the plate. 1-1 now.
Martinez isn't really getting held on here. He's not a traditional stolen base threat. Again, leading me to believe that last play was a hit and run. But Noel is hanging around the area in case there is any kind of offering by Reed.
The third pitch of this at-bat is outside. 2-1 now to Fernandez-Diaz, the 3-hole hitter in this Road Warrior lineup. Reed trying to get out of this inning with no damage. And he could easily be able to do that now after that pitch, as it's a changeup swung on and missed. 2-2 now.
Reed wants to keep Fernandez-Diaz on his toes. Nothing too exciting here. Just a changeup, keep things interesting, do exactly what a changeup's supposed to do, just mess with the batter's timing.
The 2-2 is fouled between the legs of De La Rosa, it looked like, and it heads back to the backstop. Remaining 2-2. Martinez still over at second, and the Barnstormer infield playing a normal.
Looked like it might have been a cut fastball, ran in a little bit on the batter, Jorge Fernandez-Diaz. But fairly straight overall.
Noel trying to hold on Ortiz just a little bit. And right before the pitch, he'll run almost at a sprint back to second in the normal second baseman position. As this pitch is fouled off. So we're going to head for pitch number 7 of this at-bat.
Outfield is roaming around a little bit. A lot of the outfielders are staying light on their toes. Fernandez-Diaz is one of the Road Warriors players with the most pop. He's got 10 home runs and is known for getting the ball in the air, really making the outfielders move around some, especially in the gaps. He's the type of player to really put a charge into the ball.
2-2 pitch was just off the inside part of the plate, so it's full. 3-2. Reed asks for the sign again from De La Rosa. He gets it. Stares back at second. Now the pitch. Chopper down the third base line will roll just foul.
Probably a change-up. Jorge was a little ahead of that one. Ball didn't look to have too much speed to it as he just clips it down the third base line.
He's making Reed work. Not trying to make him get out of these innings easily, because once Reed gets into a rhythm, he'll be able to keep that maintained probably the whole game. So trying to throw him off still early in this one.
So far, the Barnstormers are hitting all the keys we mentioned earlier, staying the same course as they were last night. Good pitching, good hitting, just good getting the job done against a weaker Road Warriors squad.
3-2 is fouled behind home plate, high and over the whole stadium.
We talked last night about Gardner and the confidence issue with pitching. They're doing the same thing here tonight, the Barnstormers are, getting the early offense, allowing Reed to feel comfortable with the way the game's going to go. Doesn't have to try and be Superman, doesn't have to try and throw a no-hitter, just has to go out and pitch his game.
As another pitch is fouled off. This one a slow dribbler over to the Road Warriors dugout. So the count will stay 3-2. 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. Lancaster leading 3-0. And they're leading in the hit department as well, 5-3. No errors in this one. Reed the deal. as it's fished out to center field. Sanford, oh my gosh, able to make the play. Misread that one again. The wind must be really messing with these outfielders because he was under it looked like, and then just started sprinting backwards. Able to make the catch though.
The wind is blowing directly from left to right at this point, making any attempt at reading a ball really difficult, like you said. Sanford able to run it down, a little hop at the end to make it happen. We'll be right back after a short break.
Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, getting ready for the bottom half of the third inning, as it's going to be the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Barnstormers. Jimmy Paredes, Ryan Castile, and Casey Hobson.
Paredes with an RBI already in this game. He's looking to put himself in scoring position now as he leads off. Not a traditional position a 4-hole hitter is in, but alas, with a 345 average, we'd look to see Paredes do well in this type of spot, setting the table for some more of the big guys behind him.
First pitch of this at-bat is a called strike, 0-1 to Paredes. Playing third base tonight for the Barnstormers, as the 0-1 is hit into the right center gap, and it's going to get down in front of Jorge Fernandez-Diaz. That's going to be Paredes' second hit of the game.
A nice looping single. He really just sort of tossed it up into the outfield. Not a whole lot of swing after it. You got to think there might be some of that launch angle talk that seems to be going around baseball, but it was a shorter, not quite as powerful swing. Not looking to put too much into it. That's exactly what he got out of it. Just a nice little toss-up single between the right fielder and the center fielder.
Talk about how hot Jimmy has been these last few games. He is just on a tear as Ryan Castile steps in. Paredes on first, as the first pitch of the at-bat is low for ball 1.
Paredes came into tonight 11 for 18 in his last 5 games in those last 18 ABs. He's now 13 for his last 20. That's a 650 batting average in 6 games. That's really impressive to do at any point, but to carry that over almost a 2-week stretch is extremely impressive for a midseason pickup.
And this one is hit right back over the middle. Lee has to get out of the way. Definitely a headhunter as Castile is able to get a single as Paredes moves over to second.
No fielding attempt for Lee, just self-preservation as the tall guy ducks out of the way.
That was a rocket right back over the mound. Good thing he was able to get out of the way.
Absolutely. It's always scary when a pitcher gets hit. They talk in the major leagues a lot nowadays about putting helmets or something like that on a pitcher just because of how close they are to the batted ball. I don't know if that's necessarily the way to go, but if you can see opportunities like this to help protect a pitcher, it's certainly worth a conversation.
Indeed it is, as Casey Hobson steps in. He had to double his first time up. It's a quick start to this inning for the Barnstormers. Runners on first and second, no outs. As Lee gives the first pitch, and Hobson swings way too early on that one. It's going to be 0-1 to the big man.
Looks like he might have swung right over the top of a slider. The ball ended up kind of dropping off the edge of the plate Escobar was able to handle it cleanly, but Hobson was not reading it right and just kind of disappeared on him.
0-1 pitch. Inside, Escobar was looking to get the called strike, but home plate umpire Nate Caldwell says no. 1-1 now. KC looking to get another hit here. Maybe juice up his confidence.
Very vertical stance for Hobson. We see it out of a lot of the bigger power guys.
As he rips one into right field, it's going to get down in front of Jorge Fernandez-Diaz. And now it's going to be bases loaded as Paredes stays at third. Castile at second now. Bases loaded, no outs. And here comes Trayvon Robinson, the left fielder.
Really the ideal situation you'd like to see right here. No outs, bases juiced, a very clutch hitter coming up. Trayvon's looking to make a big announcement as he returns to the lineup tonight. And a big swing here could really add to the onslaught we've seen so far.
Trayvon walked in his first at-bat. He actually walked to load the bases for the man on deck, Anderson De La Rosa. But now it's his chance with the bases loaded. See what he can do.
I mentioned the onslaught earlier. The Barnstormers have scored in every inning thus far except for this one, making the score 3-0 in their favor.
Infield looking like they're okay to give up a run here if they could change that for switch that for 2 outs. As that one's hit foul down the left field line. 0-1 to Trayvon.
That's right. Both the middle infielders are back a little bit, not quite as far as we've seen them earlier in this game, but not looking to hold anybody on. Nothing like that. Just sort of in position to get the job done. The shortstop's ranged a little bit over towards the second base bag.
Trayvon's going to be trying to blow this one open here as the 0-1 is hit, and he's going to hit it right through the first base and second base gap. Paredes is going to score. Castile holds at third.
As Peoples playing it nice and safe, he throws up the stop sign for Castile at third. Keep the outs on the board. Nothing too crazy. Take the run. Move on.
4-0 now for the Barnstormers. No outs here in the bottom of the third. As here comes Anderson De La Rosa. This is going to be his second chance with the bases loaded. This time with no outs. See him take a little bit of that pressure off of his shoulders. As Tyler Bortnick, the shortstop, will wait on deck. See how the infield aligns this time. Right now, it looks like they're going to stay the course.
Barring a double play, this inning should see Anderson De La Rosa at bat now, followed by Tyler Bortnick and Darian Sanford showing up in this inning.
Lee getting ready. Here comes his pitch. De La Rosa hits a slow chopper down the third base line. Over to the Road Warriors dugout. 0-1. He doesn't want to back himself into an 0-2 count like he did in his first at-bat. Make it challenging on him. Trying to put this one in play. Bring home another run.
We've got a man up in the Road Warriors bullpen. When we get a chance to see who that might be, we'll let you know who that is. The Barnstormers bullpen, on the other hand, is quiet right now.
As second pitch of the at-bat is inside. And it's going to be 1-1. To De La Rosa. Barnstormers leading 4-0 as they have 9 hits now, as we're only working the bottom of the third inning here in Lancaster. And he breaks his bat on that one. It's a slow roller down the first base line. A run's going to come home, though, but De La Rosa gets tagged out on his way down to first.
He actually sort of accepts that the first baseman fields the ball. That's Jorge Julio Ruiz. Then just stands in the base path. De La Rosa, not much more than walks over, just kind of sticks his arm out, says, yeah, all right, just, you know, tag me, I'll go sit down, you got me. Takes his bat, takes one run home.
You might as well accept it. He's going to get an RBI on this one, as the Barnstormers are now up 5-0 in this one, with runners on second and third. Trayvon Robinson at second, and the first baseman, Casey Hobson, is over on third base right now, as Tyler Bortnick steps in, and now the road.
Everybody's in position for what looks to be they're expecting a short dribbler, shortstop. playing average depth, second baseman Rodriguez Ortiz right up against.
Aldrich is substantially in, as the pitch now is fouled back to the backstop, and it's going to go 1-2. Excuse me, to Bortnick.
Barnstormers in a position they've been comfortable with over the last 2 days. This is the second time that they've seen a score of 5-0 in the third inning. Last time they were able to make it 6-0 before the third inning was done. Last night they scored all of those runs in this third inning. However, tonight they spread them out a little bit, going 2-1-2 over the first three thus far. Only one out. They might be able to add a few more tonight.
That pitch is inside. Bortnick has to get out of the way a little bit as it goes.
Pops his hips open.
Goes to 2-2, and I think from a spectator side of things for the Barnstormers, it's good that they're able to score runs over the course of the game so far, not all in just one inning. Just maybe you could call it a fluke or something, as the 2-2 is outside, but first base umpire Carlos Daño says he went, and it's going to be a strikeout for Michael Lee.
His positioning really doesn't help Escobar very much. He was over behind second base for the runner Robinson on that bag, so that positioning wasn't too much of a help, but he gets over to his customary spot there. His third base umpire actually ranges over. That's Derek Mosia.
Sanford now steps in, the leadoff man, and he gets hit right in the back with the first pitch.
Hobson was hoping to get home as the ball just looks to get out of the catcher's hands there, but Sanford takes his bag. Hobson is sent back by home plate umpire Nate Coleman.
So now the bases are loaded, and this is the first time that we've seen someone get hit and the benches didn't clear in the past couple of games between these teams. As it's going to be Rico Noel, one of the Barnstormers' best hitters, with the bases loaded. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, 5-0 lead right now.
I think it was clearly an accident. Everybody involved really wasn't looking for it to happen. It really ran in on Darian more so than came at his back like we saw the other day. And Lee even looks over to him once he's at first and points to himself, indicating, that's my bad, ball got away from me. I don't mean anything hard by it. Hopefully we can not have an incident like we saw last night.
First pitch to Noel, off speed, right down the middle for 0-1. As Lee getting ready to deal again here. As here comes the next pitch. It's fouled right behind Noel.
Trayvon got excited out there at second base. He was more than halfway to third by the time he realized it was actually just a foul ball.
Every time I've seen contact in the last couple batters, Trayvon has just been sprinting off second base, but the man on third base, Casey Hobson, hasn't moved at all.
Well, I think it's a little bit of an indicator of what type of player they are. Casey says, you're going to have to make me work to get home. I'm a big man. I'm looking to put up the home runs myself. Not going to hustle around, whereas Robinson is used to playing in the outfield, used to a much speedier game. So that might be interesting to be behind Hobson looking for that roadblock to get out of the way.
The 0-2 is up and out of the zone and a little bit outside, so it's going to be 1-2 to Noel. Looking to bring home some runners for the Barnstormers to really try and put this one away early. They're already up 5-0. 9 hits for them, 3 for the Road Warriors. As Nate Reed has pitched well so far. Noel's going to call time as he steps out of the batter's box. Regroups. And now he'll step right back in with a 1-2 count. Lee getting the sign from Escobar. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be low again. 2-2 to Noel.
We were talking last night to the box office director of the Barnstormers, somebody who knows baseball a lot, Doug Condren. He mentioned that for the Barnstormers to really make the kind of playoff push they're looking for, starting pitching is going to be a key. And I think that the Barnstormers are feeling happy with that. Joe Gardner doing well last night. Nate Reed still has only given up 3 hits tonight. That seems to be a very separating factor here between the two teams. The Road Warriors have had a hard time getting pitchers to go very late into games, as we see somebody still up in the bullpen getting himself organized. And Reed still seems to be going strong, getting prepared to go for the 4th inning.
Pitch to Noel, hit down the third base line. Gustavo Pierre comes up with it and is Trayvon is called out at third. Really gave a good hustle on that one, but Pierre is able to get onto the bag. Barnstormers leave the bases loaded, but able to come home with 2 more innings in this one.
Robinson was running really hard as he slid into third. Pierre had to kind of hop out of the way. They talked to each other for a second. I was getting worried there that there might be more hard feelings after last night. Everybody's kind of on edge about that, but they give each other a little side hug, say I love you, man, and we are out of this third inning. We'll be right back in a few moments. I'll let you know who the Road Warriors' new pitcher is when we get back.
Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, we are 1/3 of the way through this one tonight as we enter the top of the 4th inning. Your Lancaster Barnstormers leading 5-0 over the Road Warriors. Nate Reed back to the mound as he's going to take on the cleanup hitter in this Road Warrior lineup, Gustavo Pierre. Here comes the first pitch from Reed. It's a swing and a miss by Pierre.
It's been a very long game tonight so far. We're on pace for actually more than a 5.5-hour game, as we're an hour and a half into this one here, an hour 25 minutes, and things are progressing at a slow pace. That's probably due to the Barnstormers' high levels of offense here. Nate Reed for his second strike against Pierre. He's been pitching quickly, but doesn't seem to be able to make up some of that ground.
As the 0-2 is on the way to Pierre and is way upstairs, 1-2.
Pierre getting himself set. He keeps the bat way overhead. A lot of moving parts in his stance.
This one's hit right back up the middle, and it's a base hit for the third baseman, Gustavo Pierre. Sanford coming up with it in center. There's another one hit right back up the middle.
Julio Ruiz on deck now Julio Ruiz is up now with Geraldo Valentin on deck. Both men bringing a good bit of pop to the Road Warriors, and they're looking to try and make up some of the ground as they're down 5-0 at the moment.
Reed's going to come from the stretch now with Pierre at first. His first pitch is in there for a called strike one. 0-1 now to the first baseman, Julio Ruiz.
Anderson De La Rosa behind home plate, scuffling around the dirt a little bit, getting himself organized. It'll be a long night on those knees behind the plate.
Reed to deal again on the 0-1. He just misses the outside corner. 1-1 now to Julio Ruiz. And now if you're Nate Reed, I'd say this is a big inning. If you can get through this one and maybe get to the home half and put up a couple more runs, it's going to be smooth sailing the rest of the way.
That's right, the Barnstormers have...
This one's hit over to second. Noel comes up with it over to Bortnick. Got short over to Hobson at first. And it is a 4-6-3 double play. A good pitch there from Reed to get that dribble over to second. And that's quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Lots of offense for the Barnstormers tonight. They've gone 2-on-2 through the first 3 innings. They have not had an inning yet where they haven't put up any offense. And they're looking like they're going to be able to continue some of the defensive prowess they showed off last night. They had 4 double plays up through this point of the game last night. They had another one just here with a 4-6-3.
Here comes Geraldo Valentin in for the Road Warriors. He's the designated hitter tonight. Reed winds. And the first pitch is outside a little bit. It's going to be ball 1 to Valentin.
Lefty Daniel Aldrich in the on-deck circle trying to get himself prepared for another AB.
Valentin fouls this one right back to the backstop.
Surprised he didn't break his bat on this one. That was right off the inside of his bat there, inside part of the plate.
1-1 now. Everyone barely gets back into position, and now Reed's ready to go again. And here comes his 1-1. It's fouled off to the right side. Out of play.
Looked like a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Valentin had a hard time catching up to it. Our meter had it at 86 mph. It's been known to be off a little bit. I'd expect that was probably in the low to mid 90s.
1-2 to Valentin. The pitch from Reed swung on and fouled into the glove. And that's going to be another strikeout for Nate Reed tonight. That's his 3rd of the night. We're going to head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your Barnstormers looking to put up some more runs. We'll be right back. Back here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania for the bottom of the 4th inning. Your Lancaster Barnstormers leading right now 5-0 over the Road Warriors. Trying to put some more runs on the board here with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up. Blake Galen, Jimmy Paredes, and Ryan Castile.
Much to our surprise, Mike Lee is still a pitcher in here tonight for the Road Warriors. There's been all kinds of action in the Road Warriors bullpen. We were able to identify, let me find him here, Mariel Chico, I believe is how you pronounce his name, as one of the pitchers getting himself prepared in case he needs to pitch.
First pitch from Michael Lee is low to Blake Galen, as it's 1-0. Lee's been roughed up early in this one by the Barnstormer hitters. They're trying to settle in here, as the second pitch of the at-bat is just off the outside part of the plate for ball 2. Just trying to settle in here. Hopefully not use that bullpen too early in this one. At least get another inning or 2 out of your starter. As it's 2-0 to Galen. The pitch.
Looks like everybody sat down now in the Road Warriors bullpen. Probably going to try and stretch at least another one out of Mike Lee. But people are ready in case they need to get the quick warm-up in.
It's 3-0 now. That last one missed, and now the next pitch from Lee is popped straight in the air by Galen, right in the inside, or sorry, in the infield, and the shortstop, Osvaldo Martinez, takes control of that one, and that's going to be the first out of the inning.
Almost ran into Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz over at second base, but no issues as he calls him off. They're good to go.
And now the third baseman, Jimmy Paredes, tonight's cleanup hitter for the Barnstormers, steps in. He has been hot.
2 for 2 on the night, an RBI, and I believe a run scored of his own as well. The conversation was happening at the mound between Escobar and Lee. I want to make sure they can handle the ever-powerful cleanup hitter.
Paredes rips this one right to the second baseman, Rodriguez. Ortiz probably only had to move one step to his right to make that catch on that line drive. And now it's quickly 2 away as a designated hitter, Ryan Castile, is going to step into the batter's box.
Casey Hobson steps into the on-deck circle as well. 2 power hitters looking to add to the score. Currently 5-0 Barnstormers. As that might be a balk there. No,
Lee got into his windup, but it was a late time called by home plate umpire Nate Caldwell.
Yep, that's right. Lee had a very ideal situation.
Castile hits this one. It's a high blooper out to left field, and Aldrich sits right under that one as it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for the middle of the order for the Barnstormers. We're heading to the top of the 5th inning here in Lancaster. Barnstormers still holding on to that 5-0 lead.
We really
back here in Lancaster. Top of the 5th inning here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Nate Reed still on the mound for the Barnstormers. He's given up 4 hits through 4 innings, and he has 3 strikeouts so far, as the left fielder Daniel Aldrich is going to step in here to lead this inning off.
A little bit of meandering going on with the Barnstormers bullpen. They're getting themselves ready in case they need to help out Reed. Reed's going on strong. He's only given up 4 hits so far. He gets another strike here on the swing. He's got the bottom third of the Road Warriors lineup, so I'd be surprised if we saw a whole lot of bullpen being needed.
He had his best stuff. He hasn't been striking out as many batters as normal. Has 3 so far. Still a good number, but just not his best stuff tonight, but he's been able to get the job done.
Barnstormers pitching has been streaky at best this season. Reed's been one of the stalwart, solid players. However, tonight it doesn't seem to be getting it done quite like he used to, but still 5 hits against the Road Warriors squad is really what you'd like to see. The Road Warriors are struggling. So Nate Reed
of Anderson De La Rosa and Nate Caldwell, home plate umpire, and it's quickly 0-2 to him. 5-0. Barnstormers leading this one as the center fielder Matt Hibbert, the number 9 hitter in this order, waits on deck.
0-2, probably get a curveball here.
Slow grounder over to second base. Noel comes up with it. Fires to get Escobar out at first. Aldrich will move over to third. Broken as just 90 feet away is Aldrich.
That'd be big for them. A little bit of a feather in there.
Reed's first pitch is a curveball and gets into the bottom half of the zone for a called strike 1. After a lengthy start here, the game started to pick up a little bit. Breeze still blowing from left field to right. As the pitch swung on and missed.
It just disappeared on. He swung right over the top of that.
Hibbert comes up empty on that swing, and it's 0-2. 0-2 with one away. Top of the order. Coming up next, it's Osvaldo Martinez, the shortstop on deck. The 0-2 from Reed. Right back up the middle, a base hit.
Road Warriors finally get one score here. Daniel Aldrich is actually clapping his hands as he crosses home plate. Brings our score to 5-1 here. Barnstormers 9 hits, Road Warriors 6 hits. Now as Hibbert adds one for his own.
That was a good hit ball right back over the middle. It was over the head of Reed. He wouldn't have had a chance to make a play on that one. Aldrich basically walks home, as now Martinez is going to step in. He's been having a good night so far, 2 for 2.
Complicated series of signs coming from the third base coach down there. Martinez actually kind of held up to watch it a little bit, make sure he knew what was going on.
First pitch to Martinez is in there for a called strike, 0-1. 6 hits given up now by Nate Reed. And we are through 4 1/3.
A little bit of bullpen action. When he turns around, we'll be able to give you the name of the bullpen pitcher for the Barnstormers, getting himself sort of squared away, setting up the bullpen mound, kicking it around a bit.
Martinez steps out. Just one quick moment to himself. And now he's back in as the 0-1 delivery. Hit right out to first base line, and Reed wants to scoop it up and just kicked it. Hobson has a play, go over to third. Going over to third, oh man, was Matt Hibbert. Got in safe because Paredes couldn't come up with the ball, but then slid way over the bag. And then Paredes had an easy tag out. Martinez swung, hit a very slow dribbler down the first base line. Reed went over to bend over to scoop that ball up and just kicked it almost over to the Barnstormer dugout. Hobson was over there to have backup, you could say, and saw that Hibbert was trying to go over to third, and he just gunned him out.
I don't even know if you can call it a gun out. I mean, he just got the ball over. Probably would not have been in time. Would have been a close bang-bang play either way. But Hibbert just way overslid. Looked like he was trying to swim on dirt getting his way back. Paredes tagged him out.
Melvin Rodriguez steps in. He takes a called strike, 0-1. And Hibbert was halfway over to third by the time Hobson even had that ball.
Has too much momentum for the big man.
Just takes a curve in there for 0-2 now on Rodriguez.
2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Road Warriors have added 1. Brings the score to 5-1 in favor of the Barnstormers.
Martinez is going. Rodriguez had to swing to stay alive, and he just fouls it right at home plate. It's going to stay 0-2.
It's a very frustrating play there. I think Rodriguez probably would have taken if he could have. Martinez got a really great jump, but he had to return.
It's another good pitch by Nate Reed. It started right over the middle of the plate, but it was a slider, it looked like, just breaking away from the left-handed hitting Rodriguez Ortiz. As here comes the 0-2 again. Bit upstairs. It's going to go 1-2. Still 2 away, 5-1 our score. As Reed, playing soccer with the ball a couple seconds ago, is going to be the Barnstormers' first error of the night.
Barnstormers tend to be pretty comfortable with at least a 1 there in the E category on our big board.
And what a pitch there. A curveball way upstairs and drops right into the middle of the plate. Rodriguez Ortiz is down on strikes. That's 4 strikeouts tonight for Nate
dropped
Reed.
to his knees there. It's just a brutal breaking ball.
What a pitch right there. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. Coming up for your Stormers, Casey Hobson, Trayvon Robinson, and Anderson De La Rosa. We'll be right back.
first baseman, Hayes.
Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, it's going to be the bottom half of the 5th inning. Hobson, then Robinson and De La Rosa up for your Barnstormers. Michael Lee is still out there for the Road Warriors on the pitcher's mound. Had a rough first 3 innings, but a solid 4th inning as he took the 3, 4, and 5 hitters of the Barnstormers 1, 2, 3. So they're going to keep.
Only needed 2 pitchers to retire the last 2 batters. Both swung right away, both immediately to a field. They didn't have to move much. Barnstormers was hoping to mix things up a little bit, as that was the first time that they went an inning without scoring.
As Hobson steps in, Lee's first pitch, and Hobson rips that one down the first base line. Foul into the Barnstormer bullpen.
It's a cooler night here in Lancaster. It's visibly breezy out, and Hobson looks like he's still trying to warm himself up after that pitch, kind of hopping around a little bit, stretching his legs, trying to get in position to make a good play.
0-1 here. Jared LeKind is warming up in the Barnstormer bullpen right now. Don't expect to see him yet, but we might. As Hobson skies this one, Julio Ruiz, just in foul ground over at first base, is going to make that catch. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now here comes Trayvon Robinson, the left fielder.
Mario Chico down 4 runs. In this league, anything can happen. Any big offensive explosion could come at any time, and they don't want to put themselves out of it by giving up too many more runs.
First pitch to Robinson is a slow off-speed pitch, but it's down in the dirt. 1-0, and I wouldn't imagine we've seen the end of Reed tonight. Even though LeKind is throwing pitches, he's not just stretching anymore. He's throwing down there. As pitch number 2 of the at-bat to Robinson is in there for a called strike. 1-1. And Reed really hasn't thrown too many pitches tonight either.
I mentioned a moment ago about how cold and breezy it is tonight. The outfielders, a couple of them were just stretching a minute ago in the outfield between pitches, trying to get themselves prepared. Here's the ball from Escobar back to our pitcher Lee, is almost overthrown.
It's a called strike again, so now it's 1-2 to Robinson. See what he can do here. His first time tonight he'll be hitting with the bases empty. As he hits one over to the second baseman, Rodriguez Ortiz. Robinson hustling hard as normal, but he's able to throw him out pretty easily. It's going to be 2 outs now, as here comes the catcher, Anderson De La Rosa. And this is going to be his first time as well, hitting without the bases loaded.
Yeah, I mean, the Barnstormers have cooled off a little bit. Lee, it's not the kind of thing you're going to normally say, especially when you're down 4 runs, giving up 5 already, but Lee seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on, being a little bit more controlling with the ball, not giving up as many big hits.
Barnstormers have just been trying to keep that offense going, so they've been swinging earlier in the counts. They just haven't been waiting for the pitches for them, as De La Rosa hits one hard out to right center field. Going back as Fernandez Diaz is going to hit off the top of the right field wall. De La Rosa coming in the second. The throw is offline to the shortstop, Osvaldo Martinez. So De La Rosa is able to get in there in time.
But a better throw would have killed him. He was just hung out to dry if that ball is on target. He was barely halfway from first to second. The ball was in the infield.
That is right. If that one would have been on target, De La Rosa would have been out by at least 10 feet or stuck in a pickle. But he's going to be on second with a 2-out double. Let's see if the Barnstormers can get another 2-out rally going, as the shortstop Tyler Bortnick will step in here. He's rounding out the lineup
of that as we take another strike.
That was
actually a ball, inside.
Ball inside, 1-0. And Bortnick has been struggling. I don't think he's been seeing the ball all too well tonight from Lee. He had a couple check swings earlier that wasn't happy of, as that one's going to be low too on the breaking ball. 2-0 to Bortnick.
He has been one of the few Barnstormers players in recent innings to really make Lee work, try and get up the count a little bit, as Barnstormers batters have been a little punchy, trying to create offense where it just isn't there, not waiting for their opportunity like they're taught.
The third pitch is also going to be inside and low. So now it's 3-0 to Bortnick. And now I don't think you want to give the number 9 hitter a 4-pitch walk to bring up Sanford, who's been exceedingly hot and could easily drop down some form of bunt or a swinging bunt, as this one's in for a called strike in the lower half of the plate, bringing it to 3-1.
Despite his average, Bortnick has been fairly productive offensively and very strange times. He has 5 home runs, 36 RBIs coming out of the lower end of the lineup. So we might be able to see something here. Man in scoring position might be all he needs to get juiced up.
Bortnick hits a slow foul ball right behind himself. As the count is full now, 3-2. Have to keep an eye out on De La Rosa to see if he's going to be running. I don't know if I'd expect him to, if a walk would happen. He's not the fastest man on our squad. We'll have to see in a couple seconds here as Michael Lee gets ready to deal again. De La Rosa stays, and it's going to be ball 4 low.
It is another walk.
And now it's going to be Darian Sanford, the center fielder, stepping in with men on first and second base, 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
Road Warriors are a little lucky here. Even if Sanford can get on, he's got 2 slower players in front of him, putting up some roadblocks to the normal base running menace he often proves to be.
Gustavo Pierre, the third baseman for the Road Warriors, is almost up on the infield grass, but the rest of the infielders will stay back. Sanford's been hot lately, so I might expect him to swing the bat here, which earlier in the season he might not have done, but since he's been doing so well lately, maybe he'll feel the confidence and just want to swing.
Get a little excited.
The first pitch was ball 1 outside. Second pitch is fouled off to the left side.
Sanford almost swung himself around in a circle. He had both hands on the bat as he was facing the opposite direction of the plate. Just having all kinds of body control issues, really, there is the best way to describe it.
The outfield is in once again, as it's 1-1 to Sanford. Next pitch. He hits this one, curving down the left field line, but it's going to land foul right in the Road Warriors bullpen. Aldrich didn't have a chance to get over there, not quick enough.
Barnstormers have about 30 feet of ivied wall reminiscent of Wrigley Field. Looks like it bounced off of that brick there.
This count remains 1-2 to Sanford. Rico Noel, he wants a chance. He's waiting on the on-deck circle. Lee getting ready here. He gets the sign from Escobar, and now he's set to go. Here comes his pitch. And a little check swing by Sanford. He's hustling quick. The throw from Martinez is in time over to Julio Ruiz, and that'll end this inning. The Barnstormers are going to strand 2 this time. We are through 5 innings here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Road Warriors trail the Stormers 5-1, looking to chip away at this lead. back here at beautiful Clipper Magazine Stadium as we head into the nighttime here. We're going to have a pitching change. It's going to be Jared Lakend. Sorry with my pronunciation error earlier. He'll step in now for Nate Reed. And Reed had a pretty decent night, only gave up 1 run, but just didn't have his stuff, that normal stuff. But he had a little bit of it in the last inning, however. But they're going to take him out now. It could be due to the fact that it's a little cooler tonight. Maybe just was a little bit tight, just wasn't up to himself.
Ross has been watching Nate for a long time now, and he knows his pitcher. He knows what he doesn't have, and I think they have a very honest repertoire with one another. I'm sure they were talking after that 5th inning about whether or not they were going to keep it up, and it looks like they decided not to as Jared steps in.
The manager of the Barnstormers and ace lefty pitcher do have a pretty close relationship. Whenever I see them down in the dugout, they're usually sitting right next to each other. So I'm sure Ross does understand how Nate's feeling whenever he's in. As now Lakend will step in for the Barnstormers and try and take care of business. And his first pitch is nowhere close as it bounces in the dirt.
It's been an emotional night for Nate on top of that. He just received the pitching record for strikeouts as a Barnstormer in his career from the manager we were just speaking of, Ross Peoples. And there's got to be some excitement to that. It's going to be a little surreal. He tips his cap as the...
Ooh, that pitch is hit right back up the middle. It got Lakend right in the leg.
Lakend's hurt. He's visibly limping. He almost fell over.
And the trainer is quickly out to check on him. Might have just been a quick stinger because that hit was moving.
To get back to my point from a moment ago, anytime you got those emotions flowing, it's very hard to stay calm. It's very hard to keep your A game. Giving up only 1 run, the Barnstormers have a nice lead, but it's not too comfortable yet. 4 runs is not as much as you'd like to see sometimes, and the Barnstormers have an opportunity to really get a nice win streak going here this evening, making it 4 in a row if they can get it done tonight. So they're not going to risk blowing out Reed, especially when they have a very fresh bullpen. They haven't been used in a few days, so looks like Lakend is still walking off. Lakend is getting back on the mound. He's got the ball. Looks like everybody's ambling their way back to where they started. Oh, but I take it back. He's still limping off the mound here.
A little
Not sure what's
uncomfortable.
gonna happen.
Looked like he got hit right in the shin area.
Yeah, maybe the side right by the ball of his ankle.
He's going to throw a couple warm-up pitches right now, see how he feels. Trainer and manager right behind him, just keeping an eye on him. As that was Fernandez Diaz, who's a bigger guy with a powerful swing, and he hit that one right on the ground back to Lakend and got him right on the inner part of the leg there.
Looks like he's going to stick with it. Maybe not perfectly back to where he'd like to be, but after only a few pitches there, he'd like to try and maybe make it through at least this inning before he gets some help, especially this early in the game. We're only about halfway through.
So now it's going to be the third baseman, cleanup hitter, Gustavo Pierre. As we should mention, Lakend is a lefty. So the Road Warriors haven't seen a righty yet as this first pitch of the at-bat gets away from De La Rosa. And Fernandez Diaz is able to take second here. There's now some slow walking back and forth from the catcher De La Rosa and Lakend, the pitcher. Probably still a little bit uncomfortable as he's taking his time now. De La Rosa's buying him some time by kicking around some dirt in the left-handed batter's box.
They're going to go check on him. Umpire Nate Caldwell walks out with De La Rosa. Ross Peoples and the trainer again coming out.
I think this might be it here for Lakend.
Well,
maybe not. They're going to try and buy him some time here because
having a conversation about it.
They're going to try and buy him some time here as they get a lefty warming up in the bullpen. It looks like they're going to try a lefty approach tonight.
That's number 10.
I would believe that is our new pitcher, Fleck. I could be wrong. I would assume this would be in one now Fernandez-Diaz at second base. No outs as we're working the top of the 6th inning here in Lancaster.
We're going to start to feed you some of the scores from around the league. New Britain and York are in the bottom of the 7th. York is up 4-0. Same point, bottom of the 7th. The Long Island Ducks are trailing the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs 8-3.
As that pitch is a check swing. Home plate umpire Nate Caldwell said he went. Oh, no, he thought he said he went.
Now, third base umpire Derek Messia is saying that everybody's good. That was a ball. And on the passed ball by De La Rosa, the base runner advances to third. Still no outs here. Things are getting a little interesting for the Barnstormers.
I wouldn't say that wasn't a wild pitch. I think De La Rosa just completely missed that one. He had a chance to come up with it and just couldn't. He's going to block that one down, as this time home plate umpire Nate Caldwell says he went around, and it's 2-2.
De La Rosa was asking for a confirmation from first base umpire. He was over at second.
Oh, wait, hold on here.
Carlos Dano.
They did say he went around on the pitch before, even though it said ball 2 on our big board screen out in left field. It's going to be a strikeout. But now some questioning.
There's some confusion. They let the extra pitch go. It would have been a walk, as first base umpire Carlos Dana actually said that it was a ball, but they clarify everything and say the pitch from before was a strike, causing a strikeout. You don't normally see an extra pitch there that doesn't mean anything, but that's exactly what we just had. Some frustration from the Road Warriors dugout, understandably. Some
back-to-back check swings is going to lead to that strikeout now, as there's one away here. Lakin's able to get the strikeout. Now he's got to work the first baseman, Jose Julio Ruiz, with Fernandez-Diaz over at third.
We got a close game out in Sugar Land. The Skeeters lead the Patriots only by 1 run. They're only in the bottom of the 3rd, though, with that time difference.
That one's ripped into the netting foul, and it is 1-1 to Julio Ruiz. Lefty matchup.
I'll start getting into some of the scores from the major leagues. Mets-Orioles. Orioles lead by 1. Scores 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Marlins-Braves. Marlins are up by 1 as well. Scores 5-4.
What a beautiful curveball right there from Lakin. Falls into the strike zone. 1-2 now on Julio Ruiz. Trying to get back-to-back strikeouts and hopefully leave this runner stranded on third. That would be the big goal. Very ideal scenario for the Barnstormers in the top half of the 6th, as this one is another curveball and it's hit out to left field. Trayvon coming in, looking to tag his Fernandez-Diaz. He's going to test the arm. Oh,
and he's out!
Trayvon Robinson throws it to the cutoff man, Paredes, who just does a quick flip over to Bortnick as Fernandez-Diaz thought about going home. Tries to get back to third and is basically picked off. A huge mistake on the base paths, and that is how this top of the 6th inning will come to an end. What a great throw right there from Trayvon Robinson. Great to see him back in the lineup.
Defense saves Jared Lakin there. He's able to get out of the inning unscathed after the scary injury. Maybe he'll be able to go another inning. We'll see soon. We'll let you know when we come back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium.
Setting up for your Barnstormers.
All right. So, as we wrap up our Major League scoreboard here, Phillies are now down to the Red Sox 2-1 at the top of the 8th, and out in Pittsburgh, the Pirates are up 2-0 over the Twins, top of the 4th. Now back to our Barnstormers game here, as looks like Rico Noel is into bat.
It's going to be the 2-3-4 hitters for the Barnstormers: Rico Noel, Blake Galen, and Jimmy Paredes. As the first pitch of the inning is fouled off by Rico down the third base line. As Michael Lee, the starting pitcher for the Road Warriors, remains in this game. The Barnstormers leading 5-1. They have 10 hits compared to the Road Warriors 7. As Noel hits another bounce over to third. Gustavo Pierre comes up with it and a good throw over to first. Julio Ruiz able to come down with that one. Rico is retired. That's going to bring up right fielder Blake Galen, the All-Star. Everyone loving him in here. Lancaster getting loud. Good turnout tonight, too.
Rico was hustling, but could not quite get there as the powerful hit brings the ball to first very quickly.
Had a good couple of turnouts the last few nights here at the ballpark for weeknight games. First pitch from Lee. Slider in there for a called strike 1. 0-1 to Galen. Barnstormers started this game out hot. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 more in the third inning. As the 0-1 pitch is outside, 1-1 now. So they carried that 5-0 lead all the way up to the 5th inning when the Road Warriors were able to tack on a run. And now it's a 4-run deficit for the Road Warriors. As the 1-1 is down low now, it's 2-1.
Barnstormers are playing confident tonight. A lot of hits, a lot of runs, a lot of early swings. They're looking to keep the pressure up as the game continues. They've cooled off some, but it's overall been a really great night for the home squad.
Lee's going to miss again with the 2-1. This time it's going to be up high and outside. 3-1 to Galen. A good hitter's count. Let's see if he gets something to swing at here as Lee gets ready to dish. The pitch is another high fly out to right field. Kind of deep. Fernandez Diaz is going to settle under it, though. A couple feet inside the warning track. And it's going to be out number 2. And that's multiple times now tonight we've seen Galen just sky balls. He's trying to get some good power behind it. Just a little bit underneath tonight.
Probably trying to break his PR that he's at right now. 22 home runs. Leads the league. Leads his own personal individual yearly home run totals. Probably trying to get number 23 and then just roll from there. But it's Jimmy Paredes up now. The powerful, consistent cleanup batter for the Barnstormers.
Jimmy's going to take ball 1. As that pitch is outside and low, as we're getting a visit here from our buddy Silo.
Silo's banging on our glass here. That's the bouncing noise you hear. He's giving us a little visit.
As the 1-0 is hit, and it's going to get through the gap in the infield on the first and second base side.
Rodriguez Ortiz was actually fielding that in the outfield grass. He was ranging back, still managed to bounce it off of his glove. I think Paredes might have been saved even if he was able to field it. By the time he was on the ground that far away, that long before he could get a hold of it.
Paredes is, in my mind, got to be the player of the game so far. That's his 3rd hit tonight. As Ryan Castile, the designated hitter, steps in. As Lee is getting ready to go here.
We're surprised to see Mike Lee still pitching this evening, but alas, there he is. And he's still doing well. He's got 2 outs here in the 6th inning. What turned from a really rough game from him where we thought we were going to see some relief coming in for him has turned into a couple of nice innings here for the away pitcher.
Castile took pitch 1 inside and low. See what he gets here on the second one. It's going to be low again.
That one might have caught the edge of the plate, but home plate umpire Caldwell disagrees. Says that it was, in fact, a ball like Castile thought.
2-0 now. To Castile, 2 away here. Barnstormers leading 5-1. As here comes the pitch. And that misses as well inside. It's 3-0. as Escobar's taking a second. I don't think he agreed with that call as much.
Tradition would dictate that the Barnstormers would be holding here, not giving a swing. And Lee seems to know that, as every time we've seen a 3-0 count, the next pitch has been a strike.
No 4-pitch walks from Lee tonight, and there's not going to be one here either, as the breaking ball down the middle of the plate. 3-1 now to Castile. He's had some good pop in his swing. Curious to see if Lee's going to give him something to hit, or he's going to try and make it difficult for him.
He's moving comfortably here, really trying to get ready to put a charge into this one.
As another one in the upper half of the plate, a little bit outside, but it's in there for a called strike two, and now the count runs full.
That's what I'm surprised Castile didn't swing at. He usually likes those pitches there, but just can't quite seem to get his bat around, can't quite get his momentum going the right way. We're 3-2, full count.
Paredes on first, Hobson on the on deck, and Paredes takes off. It's a swing, a short chopper out. Escobar makes a nice play on it and throws over to Julio Ruiz to end this inning. That was a slow chopper, probably about 3 feet right in front of the plate. So now we are through 6 tonight, 2/3 of the way through. We're heading to the top of the 7th. Road Warriors still trying to find a way to claw back into this game. They trail 5-1. Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, pitching change now for the Barnstormers as Garrett Granitz, the right-handed submarine pitcher, is going to step in. Probably the Barnstormers' best arm in the bullpen. It used to be Scott Schumann, but he just got signed last week to the Mexico League.
Yeah, he's going to be down there for their playoffs. He's got the opportunity to affect an exciting race down there. The Mexican League is one of the top international leagues. And it's pretty neat to see a Barnstormer player moving on. We've seen a few of them do so this year, and we're excited about this opportunity for Scott, hoping he'll be able to return after those playoffs close out.
As the batter is Geraldo Valentin, the designated hitter, and another quick-moving pitcher is Granitz, as he threw 2 strikes to start this one. But this third pitch is going to be low and out of the zone. It's 1-2. To the designated hitter. 5-1 our score. Barnstormers leading. Comes the pitch now from Granitz. Takes an odd hop, but it's over to second baseman Rico Noel, who is able to throw over to first and retire Valentin for the first out of the inning.
I'm going to try and give our listeners a hint here of what we're seeing from the pitching rotation here. We're seeing, the pitching motion from Granitz. We mentioned he's a submariner, but this really doesn't just describe his motion to its fullest extent. His windup, he actually pulls up, stops fully for a few seconds before beginning his forward motion, his legs in the air, as he torques his body with his knuckles practically scraping the ground. Makes understanding his pitch is nearly impossible. Almost everything looks like this bizarre curveball that goes up and then back down just because of the arm slot. And it tends to fool a lot of hitters in this league.
Aldrich, the batter, now he's out in left field tonight, batting in the 7 hole for the Road Warriors. Swings and fouls one back into the netting. It's 0-1. Granite's does have an interesting motion, as Aldrich hits this one down the left field line, and it's going to land just inside the line. Fair ball. Trayvon Robinson chasing it down into the corner. Aldrich's going to have an easy double as he coasts into second base. It's going to be a 1-out double, and that'll bring up the catcher, Hermindo Escobar, as this is the Road Warriors' chance here. They have 8 outs left to try and make this 4-run comeback at this point of the ball game. As De La Rosa goes out to Granites, make sure they're on the same page. It's a quick meeting.
Barnstormers have not been able to add any since their 3rd inning 2-run excitement. However, the Road Warriors have only been making up ground. They've added one of their own in the 5th. We're here in the top of the 7th as they're starting to run out of time a little bit. I wouldn't say they're panicking, but 4 runs starts to look a lot bigger when you've got less than 4 innings to go.
Correct right there, Brooks, as Escobar fouls the first pitch down the first base line. It's going to be 0-1, and the game's been pretty even since the 3rd inning when the Barnstormers took that 5-0 lead. But I would honestly say that the Road Warriors have been the more threatening team since then. Probably a little bit better than the Barnstormers overall, but we've done well being able to keep them from coming all the way home to score. Had a couple of innings where they've stranded men on third base. A couple base running errors by the Road Warriors. As the 1-1 pitch is fouled down the first base line again, it's 1-2.
We've got another player warming up in the Barnstormers bullpen. Granites, I think, will probably be able to get through at least the rest of this inning. He tends to be a pretty strong pitcher. Even when he does get himself into trouble, he stays consistent. And he steps off here, just trying to mix up their signs a little bit, make sure everybody's on the same page.
Counts 1-2, 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, 5-1 lead for the Barnstormers. On deck is Matt Hibbert, center fielder for the Road Warriors. We're at the bottom of the order in this inning, as Escobar hits one. Diving play over at first by Hobson. He's able to flip it over to Granites.
Hobson was keeping an extremely strong presence of mind. He points over to Hibbert at third to remind Granites that we do have another base runner to watch him in case he makes a dash for home, trying to limit any running potential. But we've now got 2 outs, men at third.
That was Aldrich over at third, as Hibbert's going to step into the batter's box now. Good play by Granites to get over to the first base bag, as Hobson made a nice diving play right there.
Yeah, my bad. I got a little excited there. I knew Hibbert was coming up, and Brain said he was on base already.
All is well as Hibbert steps in. 2 outs here. Man on third again. This is going to be the 3rd time tonight that the Road Warriors have had a man on third. From Barnstormer's point of view, trying to strand him. First pitch is high, 1-0. Granites is pretty good at getting out of these scenarios, as this pitch is pretty far outside. Maybe just lost the grip on that one.
Yeah, I mean, when you're practically palming the ball from underneath, trying to let go can sometimes get interesting. Can catch all kinds of fingers and thumbs as he lofts it towards home.
Batter's not used to seeing this kind of motion, as now he misses high on this pitch, and now it's 3-0.
This approach seems to be working out for Hibbert, trying to let Granites make the mistakes. But like you're saying, it can be difficult to get yourself around this kind of pitching stance.
Oh, misses wide again. A 4-pitch walk right there from Granites. Taps his chest, says, "That's my bad." Let's move on to the next one. But the next batter is the shortstop, Osvaldo Martinez, who has had a great night in the batter's box. 2 hits to his credit.
If you're a Road Warriors fan, this is a very exciting opportunity. One of the best run-scoring potential type of situations we've seen so far. And now you've got one of your best hitters, Osvaldo Martinez, stepping in. 2 outs, but if you can get a hit down, you'll be able to get at least 1 in with Aldrich.
Trying to get a little 2-out rally going. Maybe take some notes from the Barnstormers game early in this game, as Martinez is going to take that one for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1, runners on the corners. 2 away. Martinez has 4 home runs, so it's not impossible to get a homer out of him. As he swings way out in front of that one and misses.
Rain's starting to pick up here. It wasn't raining before, but some slow drizzles happening right now. As like we saw last night, some of the fans are starting to make their way up towards the concourse with a nice overhang. I don't think there's any concern right now about any kind of tarp situation, but just a little bit of an added element that the Barnstormers have been dealing with really all season.
What we've seen all year, rain, 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 nothing new. Players hate to see it.
They're completely unfazed, honestly, at this point. I couldn't even tell what was happening. Looks like the rain stopped now. At this point, just a little bit of a cloud burst, maybe.
As the 0-2 kind of gets away from Granite as he misses high and outside. 1-2. 2 away. Martinez looking to do some damage here, at least bring 1 runner home. As Granite misses again outside.
Counts 2-2. Barnstormers are up 5-1 for those of you just joining us. We've got 11 hits for the Stormers, 8 for the Road Warriors. Road Warriors threatening here, men on the corners, 2 outs.
Granite gets ready. He'll come from the stretch. This pitch is up and into Martinez. The count's going to run full. And I don't know if I jinxed Granite at all coming into this inning, saying that he probably has the best arm for the Barnstormers, but he has been pretty off in his location so far.
Yes, this is exclusively your fault, Evan.
Exclusively. Can't even say that word.
Yeah,
it's 3-2 as Martinez golfs this one out to left field. Trayvon on the run, and he'll make the catch. Him and Sanford were coming close, but Trayvon calls him off. As Granite is able to get out of this inning, the score is going to remain 5-1. It's time to stretch here in Lancaster. We're at the bottom of the 7th. Your Barnstormers 5-1 lead. Back here in Lancaster, it's going to be a pitching change for the Road Warriors as Mariel Chico is going to step in. He's going to take on the 6, 7, 8 hitters of the Barnstormers. It's going to be Casey Hobson, Trayvon Robinson, and Anderson De La Rosa up in this half of the 7th inning. Barnstormers with a 5-1 lead. They scored all 5 of their runs early in this one. Two runs in the first inning, a single run in the second, and then a pair of runs in the third They haven't been able to score since, but able to hold off the Road Warriors, who have made multiple threatening chances, as Hobson steps in now, and the first pitch goes away inside.
Actually dribbles back into the infield. The first baseman goes and gets it. Excuse me, goes after, but the pitcher gets it, tosses it to the bat boy.
Escobar didn't even make an attempt to catch that one.
Just said, oh, that's above my head.
I don't know if he thought it was going to run inside and get Hobson, but he didn't make an attempt, and that's why the ball rolled all the way back out. It's
Keeping you updated here on the weather. Rain has picked up again. It's visible only really in the lights, maybe a little bit on the field. People are, breaking out the umbrellas and whatnot, but really doesn't look to be any concern among the tarp crew. Nothing's getting too excited. I think they're going to be able to finish out this game. Just want to keep you aware of the conditions going on that the players are dealing with right now, since you can't see it.
Hobson swung through the second pitch, and now this one goes outside, so it's 2-1 to the Barnstormer first baseman. Rain is picking up, but doesn't look visual on the dirt on the infield. It looks like it's going to be good enough playing conditions, as that pitch is outside again. 3-1 as Chico trying to keep these batters, for the Barnstormers batters, off the base path so they can't score, because his team still has a legitimate chance. Even though they're down 4, they've been putting some runners on each inning. It's going to be a walk here to Hobson.
It's not really the kind of way you'd like to start. Lower end of the lineup. You can't look for that walk early on. You don't want to really try and battle these guys. You got to go right after them if they're going to be struggling the way they are. Hobson's maybe not necessarily the best example of somebody to go right after, but Robinson coming back from an injury, De La Rosa on deck, and Bortnick after him aren't really the hottest hitters, aren't really the most strong offensively for the Barnstormers. So if Mariel Chico can't get some of these guys out, you're going to wonder how well he's going to hold up.
As Trayvon Robinson rips one off the right field wall. First pitch swinging, as it's going to be a single there. Hobson gets over to second, kind of slipped off the bag at first, but able to hold. As it's first and second, as Anderson De La Rosa is going to step in. Another quick inning start for the Barnstormers. Got man on first and second, no outs.
I was saying this just a minute ago. You wonder how well Mariel Chico is going to be able to do if he's given up this kind of hits to the bottom end of the Stormers lineup. Anderson De La Rosa, normally considered more of a defensive catcher, stepping in here. If he can get the bat on the ball, you're going to be looking for the Barnstormers to put up quite a few runs during this inning, possibly. Really blow out that lead, really shut the door on the Road Warriors towards the tail end of this game.
De La Rosa steps in. He's been having trouble tonight with men on. It's going to be his third at-bat with multiple men on base. He had 2 chances earlier with the bases loaded. Barnstormers holding on to this 5-1 lead right now. I'm going to try and bring some more men home to pad this lead. First pitch is fouled back to the backstop by De La Rosa. 0-1 as Barnstormers trying to finish this game off. Got good news over in York. They're still holding on to that 4-0 lead against the New Britain Bees. They're in the bottom of the 8th now, so just 3 more outs there. And this is going to be another game that the Barnstormers are going to gain. Make it 7.5 lead as we're down to 1 month of baseball left.
That is assuming they can pull this out tonight. They're up 6.5 at the moment, but all signs right now indicating the Barnstormers should be able to finish this off, barring a bullpen meltdown, which isn't something we are completely devoid of here, but with a 4-run lead, especially playing the way they are right now, the Barnstormers might be able to get it done.
That pitch was outside. It's 1-1 to De La Rosa. Chico winds and deals. De La Rosa swung a little bit out of the zone there. So it's fouled over to the craft beer deck down the right field line. It's going to be 1-2 to him. Tyler Bortnick, shortstop, waiting on deck. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
De La Rosa plants his feet back in. He's going to be able to get a lot of traction. Field's nice and soft. The rain continues to fall here. Looks maybe not significant, but not ignorable either. You want to just keep an eye on it.
Here comes the pitch from Chico, and De La Rosa swings through that one, and it's going to be a strikeout there.
De La Rosa looks to have some words. Not really sure who he's directing it at. Probably home plate umpire Nate Caldwell. Maybe at a backup catcher, Edwin Escobar, for the Road Warriors. I don't think it's anything too concerning, but we had some words. Probably like the home plate umpire. Looked like he wasn't too sure about that call.
Probably asking if that one was going to be a called strike 3, because looked to me that De La Rosa went fishing for that one again, just fooled by Chico's arm at that at-bat. So here comes Bortnick, first and second still, now with 1 away. First pitch is down low, 1-0.
It's a good sign Chico might be settling in now. He obviously gave up 2 quick hits to Hobson and Robinson, but holding off on getting Anderson on was a good sign. If you can get Bortnick here, he'll be in good position to get out of this inning unscathed. If Bortnick can get on, you're going to be worried. Darian Sanford, Rico Noel, top end of the lineup, are going to be doing what they do best. That's get guys around, get on base themselves, keep the ball going.
That next pitch was inside to Bortnick. At least that's what it looked like from up here, but Chico was not liking that call, was looking for a strike. But Caldwell, the home plate ump, is not going to give it to him. 2-0 now to Bortnick. Trying to back himself into a good hitter's count here. As here comes the 2-0. Bortnick checks, swings, an appeal. It's a no-go. As he looks down to the first base umpire, Carlos Daño, as now it's 3-0. 3-0 to Bortnick. 1 out. Got Hobson on second, Robinson on first, Sanford on deck. 5-1, Barnstormers, as we're working in the rain now.
Wind seems to have died off, but they traded that for a little bit of water from the sky.
Chico gets the outside corner. It's going to go to 3-1 now after that called strike.
You got to wonder if that's going to impact how well the ball flies off the bats of our hitters tonight. We haven't had any home runs yet, and I think rain-dredged balls might be a little bit heavier, having a hard time getting them out of the park as well. Ooh!
And that pitch looked pretty well outside, at least not in the zone from up here. But Caldwell's going to call it a strike, and it's going to run the count full on Bortnick.
Bortnick obviously agreed with our viewpoint. He really thought that was a ball. Started to make his way down to first and kind of gave a grimace as he's called back into the box.
Outfield is in a little bit, not expecting Bortnick to hit it too far. As now the runners take off and the pitch gets away. Hobson's going to round third. He has a chance to come home. But with a bigger guy like Hobson, he's going to stay on third. Just take the bases loaded opportunity. You don't want to get an out here just by some poor base running skills. So now the bases are going to be loaded for the speedster Darian Sanford. He's having a good night. He's been hot lately, as we've mentioned multiple times. And he's only got 1 out here. It's pretty tough for him to ground into a double play ball. So let's see if the Stormers can get a run home here. Infield playing in just a little bit. Not right on the edge of the grass. I believe they're going to try and look home first to try and start a double play opportunity unless it was hit right to the second baseman or shortstop. 1 away.
I think we're going to see a lot of fastballs thrown for Sanford as he gets
Sanford hits one. Under the glove of Julio Luis at first. 1 run's going to score. Trayvon Robinson stayed at third, but Bortnick is in a rundown now in between second and third.
He's tagged, yeah.
And Bortnick gets tagged out. Bortnick thought Trayvon was going to head home. Trayvon took a big round around third like he was going to go.
That was really because of the great throw by Jorge Fernandez-Diaz, getting it to home extremely quickly once he was able to get a hold of the ball. And it didn't do much good to try and get, not Sanford, excuse me, get Robinson. Wow, I cannot find that name. To get Robinson, but there you go.
It's going to be 2 outs now. Runners on the corner. It's Robinson on third, Sanford on first, and Noel's the batter. As as Rico steps in now. 6-1 the score, as Hobson was able to come home. Now Sanford's going to second, but Rico swings and fouls that one back to the netting. It's going to be 0-1. Sanford's going to have to head back to first.
He was moving on that. By the time the ball was actually hit, he was just about at second base. So if Noel was able to hold off, it would have been a good steal.
There's a great jump by Sanford. And you're not going to really want to make a throw down there because he's more than likely going to get in on time, and then you have the chance of Robinson going home to score.
Yeah, they're not even really in a stolen base, caught stealing kind of position here, fielder-wise.
Next pitch now to Noel is on the inside part of the plate for a called strike. So he looks at that one now. It's 0-2, 2 outs. Barnstormers with a 6-1 lead now after Casey Hobson was able to come home.
Noel's looking very determined, setting his bat head on the home plate, getting himself organized. Sanford goes.
It's fouled down the right field line, back into the stands. And now we're going to have to do it again, as Sanford is just testing his wheels, head between first and second.
Trying to stay ready, revving the engine. He was around second base, actually. If that ball is caught, the inning's over, but he goes back to first, slowly but surely here.
As we're working the bottom of the 7th. Mentioned a couple times, the rain has picked up. It's a little tough to see if it's still raining right now.
I think it died off.
I think it has subsided for now. Still got the runners on the corners. 0-2 to Noel.
Your score now is 6-1 in favor of the Barnstormers. Here, bottom 7.
Chico deals, and it's down in the dirt. Gets away a little bit from Escobar, and Sanford will take second base.
Really no throw thought. Escobar looked like he might be trying for it, kind of giving the fake out to Robinson, seeing if he can get him to draw him off the bag, but really just a fake pump. And Sanford is at second, Robinson's staying at third.
This really should have been the setup for this whole at-bat, but every time Sanford took off, Rico had to foul the ball off. So it's 1-2, 2 outs, second and third for your Barnstormers. Trying to get this lead padded a little bit more and try and take away these comeback hopes of the Road Warriors as Noel swings and misses. And that'll be the end of the inning as he strikes out, and he's not happy. Throws his bat and slams his helmet. However, the Barnstormers are able to gain a run as we're going to take a 6-1 lead now. We got 2 innings left here. We're headed to the top of the 8th. Barnstormers 6, Road Warriors 1. Back here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, getting ready to start the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Barnstormers. It's going to be one of the newest additions to the team. Left-hander, number 10, Luke Westfall. 6'3", 230 pounds from Clintonville, Wisconsin. He did play with York earlier this season.
Yep. Peaked at the Double-A level in the Major League system. He's a 6'3" lefty, 230 pounds. He's a pretty big guy.
Let's see what he's got here. He's going to take on the 2-3-4 batters with the second baseman Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz to lead off, followed by Fernandez Diaz and Gustavo Pierre.
29-year-old actually lives in Wisconsin. It's not super common to see a guy from the Midwest out here in Lancaster, but here he is.
And the first pitch from Westfall is on the inside part of the plate, but just inside enough where it's going to be ball 1 to Rodriguez. Paredes over at third, playing pretty far in, as pitch number 2 is off the outside part of the plate. 2-0.
The 3-hole hitter, Jorge Fernandez Diaz, I'm watching him warm up a little bit. He's actually swinging one-handed with his right hand, doing a little wrist flip, trying to get himself ready to go.
As this pitch is hit over the head of Jimmy Paredes over at third, it's going to get into left field for a leadoff single for Rodriguez. And now Jorge Fernandez Diaz will step in.
Right fielder Jorge Fernandez.
Powerful right fielder. His last at-bat, he hit a rocket right back up the middle, which caught the leg of Barnstormer pitcher Jared Lakin. And I think that might have limited Lakin to that just one inning.
I'm not sure. Ross Peoples is known for using quite a few bullpen arms throughout the game, so having that transition probably isn't too surprising. But we got a fairly significant lead over there by, where is he? Melvin Rodriguez Ortiz off of first base. Not quite to the edge of the cutout, but taking a decent bit of a lead there for someone like himself.
Westfall gives him the look. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a throw over to Hobson at first, just keeping Rodriguez still. This is a big inning right here. Got a 5-run lead for the Barnstormers, 6-1 the score. But with the middle of the order coming up, if you're able to get through this one with no damage, heading into the 9th inning, you're going to have the bottom part of the lineup as this one's skyrocketed out to center. Sanford is under it, and he'll make the grab. Rodriguez retreats to first, and there's a 1 away.
He's had a few defensive plays that made us chuckle a little bit as he's running around out there, but that one he was zoned in on right away, got right to where he needed to be, made the out.
It's going to be the third baseman, Gustavo Pierre. He's the cleanup hitter, trying to get something going for this Road Warriors squad. They're going to need a few runs this inning to pose a threat, you would think, for the 9th. I wouldn't expect them to just come up with 5 runs in the 9th.
Not impossible, but you're right. It'd be a little surprising this stage of the game, knowing the Road Warriors' history, knowing the way this game has been going.
Another throw over to first as Rodriguez gets back. Here comes the pitch from Westfall. First of the at-bat. It's low. Good stop there by De La Rosa. 1-0.
Getting organized now, getting himself set is Gustavo Pierre in the batter's box. About the same lead that we saw earlier from Fernandez Diaz. Ooh!
Pierre swings through that one.
Just pulls the string on that, drops it out underneath.
It's 1-1 now to Pierre, who is leading this Road Warriors squad in basically every category batting-wise besides average. That belongs to Julio Ruiz, the first baseman.
That's really what you'd expect to see from your 4- and 5-hole hitters, putting up those kinds of big numbers.
Pierre rips one foul up into the sweet level.
Bounces back down. Looks like everybody's safe, though. Made a lot of banging noise, but that's just hitting the top level.
Hit off one of the sweet level doors and then flung right back down against the netting on top of the Barnstormer dugout. It's 1-2 now. It's a big pitch right here for Westfall.
We got number 29, Jose Julio Ruiz, on deck, getting himself set and organized and ready to go as well.
This pitch is down low in the dirt. De La Rosa able to corral it again, keeping Rodriguez Ortiz stable at first.
Really doesn't look to be a big threat to run. He takes a not insignificant lead. I called it large earlier. That might have been a bit of an exaggeration, but Westfall seemed to agree with me throwing over, but you know, he really doesn't have that kind of toe and foot action you'd expect from somebody looking to run.
Pierre hits this one high into right field. It's kind of shallow. Galen, is running in and will make the catch. He always plays out by that warning track, so we have to run basically into the middle of the outfield to make that grab. Pierre is down, and now it's going to be Julio Ruiz. Powerful swinger. Even though he only has 2 home runs, he hit one against us last week. Has Rodriguez Ortiz still over there at first. Don't expect him to make any stealing chances because he only got 4 outs to deal with for the rest of this game and only 1 in the rest of this inning. Westfall, lefty v lefty matchup. Throws it, and it's called a ball, probably a little bit upstairs, 1-0.
That had some really nice breaking action, but it looked to be a little bit too horizontal for what he was going for. Might have been a slider breaking away from the lefty, but it went more sideways than down.
Throw over to first. Rodriguez able to get back in time. As Westfall has done pretty well tonight. Newest pitching addition to this Barnstormer team. So here comes his next pitch, and hit over to left field. Trayvon Robinson has to back up a couple of steps, but he's able to come down with it, and that's going to be the end of the top of the 8th inning. We're going to head to the bottom of the 8th here in Lancaster for the Barnstormers, trying to put some more runs on the board here.
Seal the deal, that's right. Give you a quick weather update. Doesn't really look like it's raining anymore. Wind has picked up again. You can see the big flag moving from left to right, but no otherwise too excitement going on. Looks like they should be able to finish this one out without any more issues. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Well, if the Barnstormers are looking for more runs, it's the perfect opportunity to do so here in the bottom of the 8th. They got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Blake Galen, Jimmy Paredes, and Ryan Castile coming up. This is the 3rd time tonight that the Stormers are going to have the 3, 4, and 5 to hit to start the inning. Blake Galen, couple of pop-outs tonight, looking to finally connect on one solidly as he's going to take the first pitch right down the middle for a called strike 1 as Chico still on the mound for the Road Warriors.
Galen doesn't tend to have a very looping swing that will produce pop-ups like that, so I think he's probably getting a little frustrated. He's only catching the bottom half of the ball and sending them upward as opposed to outward. If he can get a hold of one, though, he's definitely providing a lot of the power he'd need tonight to possibly clear that right field wall again.
Second pitch to Galen is outside for a ball. 1-1. Chico wasn't agreeing too much with Caldwell.
Ooh.
As that pitch is well inside on Galen. 2-1.
I looked like that might have run in on him. Didn't quite catch anything, but he had to pop his hips out of the way.
Barnstormers are the owners of a 5-run lead right now as Galen fouls one back behind home plate but is able to get out.
Not sure what it's about. It looks like Nate Caldwell, home plate umpire, gave Escobar almost like a scolding. He kind of waggled his finger at him. Don't really know what that was about. He was asking for another ball. Might have just been explaining that he really didn't have to worry about the batted ball overhead.
Blake Galen fouls another one behind home plate. It's 2-2 to the Barnstormer right fielder. And the Barnstormers have had some good offense tonight, but you would say the only one not chipping in as much is their all-star right fielder.
Him as well as Rico Noel. You mentioned before that this is the third time Blake has led off an inning. That means that this is the third time that Noel has ended the inning before.
As Galen just skies one in the infield, Pierre, the third baseman, roams over and calls off Martinez, and he'll make the grab one away. And the only time Galen's been on base tonight, I believe, was that walk that he had in his first at-bat.
Yeah.
Here comes Jimmy Paredes. Complete opposite of Blake Galen tonight. He has been hot. He's been really hitting the ball well. He's hit a couple out to right field.
If I'm seeing things correctly, it looks like we have Matt Marksberry warming up down the right field line in the Barnstormers bullpen, possibly getting ready to add another inning in relief for the Barnstormers. It's going to be a little hard to tell from here, so if I have that name wrong, I will let you know, but it definitely looks like number 26, Matt Marksberry.
It is indeed Matt Marksberry as Paredes fouls this ball off his back, I guess. And now it is 1-1 to the Barnstormer third baseman. And I believe that Ross Peoples, manager, has been doing his work, his homework, as we've only seen one right-hander out of the bullpen tonight. That was Garrett Grant. It's the Submariner.
Yeah, you can hardly even consider him a traditional righty when you're looking at righty-lefty matchups. With that kind of arm angle, there's really no comparison. I mean, you hate to make as big a deal out of it as it is. It looks more exciting than it ends up being, but you can't really consider that a normal lefty or righty positioning, just the way the ball comes out of his hand, the arm slot, the types of pitches he throws. It's just a whole different pitcher, really.
Exactly. Ross has been going with the lefties all night. As Paredes broke his bat on that last foul ball. It's 1-2 now.
That's our third broken bat of the evening. We don't normally see that many.
As he gets the new bat and regroups. And 1-2, 1 out, 6-1 our score. The designated hitter Ryan Castile waiting on deck. As Chico, the pitcher for the Road Warriors, not too bad of a job. He's been able to. He only gave up 1 run so far. As that pitch is down in the dirt, Paredes takes, and it's 2-2.
The middle infielders are still back. This looks to be the Road Warriors' traditional positioning, especially against Jimmy Paredes. The first baseman's fairly well behind the bag as well. They're shifted over a smidge. He does tend to be a bit of a pull hitter, but with the kind of pop he has, you'd expect to see the right fielder a little bit farther back than he is right now, but he's shallower than we've seen either right fielder all night. Honestly, about 10 feet in front of the warning track out there.
2-2 pitches inside. The count is full now as Chico waiting to wind, and now he will. Here comes the pitch. Paredes fouls another one off.
Looked like he was a bit behind on that pitch. Sounded like he only got a little bit of it.
Still able to make a little bit of contact. Keep himself alive in this one, as it's going to be pitch number 7 coming now.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out is our hitting scenario. Barnstormers up 6-1 for those of you just joining us. 13 hits for the Stormers, 9 for your away Road Warriors.
Paredes swings through that one. And
He's frustrated.
It's going to be a strikeout. He's frustrated right now, but I believe after the game he'll be pretty happy about his performance tonight.
And yeah, he'll feel good about what he's done. They're up big at this point. Road Warriors only have about 3 more outs to work with. They're going to get the job done. And I think Paredes is really a big part of that, adding some runs and RBIs throughout the game.
Castile is in now, as the first pitch to him is called a ball, 1-0. Chico's going to deal now, and that one's inside.
Hopping out of the way is Castile. He's talking to the umpire, asking to give him a little bit more help there, as he has to jump out of the way. Visibly hops.
We got a final score in York, just up the road, as the Revolution have defeated New Britain 4-1.
Castile swings right through that one. Talking to the umpire again. I'm not sure what the issue is. I mean, he swung on it. So maybe just asking for a little bit bigger zone, saying this is why he's having these issues.
Counts 2-1 now, and the pitch is a called strike. It's 2-2 now, and with that, New Britain lost tonight. Barnstormers, as of right now, in the middle of this game, own a 7-game lead in the wild card hunt. But if they're able to hold on and win this one, looks like they will be able to. It's going to be 7.5 heading into Wednesday, as that pitch is inside to Castile. 3-2, 2 outs, but the bases are empty for the Stormers.
Castile seems to be having some head issues, getting himself organized, swinging at the wrong pitches, not swinging at the wrong pitches, talking to the umpire a lot, asking for time. Just can't seem to get settled.
There's a 3-2. He fouls it back into the seating bowl. It remains 3-2, and another heavy pitch count at bat. Chico's getting the sign from Escobar. And here he comes.
Ooh.
Castile's able to bloop that one, but it's right in the infield, as Rodriguez Ortiz is able to easily come up with that one, as that's going to be the end of the inning. We've got one more to go here at the Clipper Magazine Stadium. Barnstormers still holding on to that 6-1 lead tonight.
Mark Sperry making his way out to the mound. It looks like he's going to try and get the save tonight for the Barnstormers. Excuse me, not quite the save situation. They're up big at this point, but try and round out the rest of this game. That's a little bit different than what we've seen. Matt Reynolds for most of the season has been the closer for the Barnstormers, but after some issues, it looks like they'll go with Mark Sperry, especially in a situation where they're not too worried. They can give up a little bit and still be fine. We'll see you here in just a minute as we look for what will probably be the last 3 outs of this game.
Top of the 9th inning here in Lancaster. Matt Marksberry is going to try and finish this one off for the Barnstormers, who carry a 6-1 lead into the final inning here.
If everything goes according to plan, the Barnstormers will only need to get 3 more outs. They'll be good to go. They're up by 5 runs. Mark Sperry just needs to let his defense do the job they've been doing for most of the night. Get home safely. We'll be good to go.
Valentin steps in, the designated hitter. First pitch from Mark Sperry. Nice fastball, just a bit outside. 1-0. This is going to try and get through the bottom part of this order. We're going with the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in this top half of the 9th. De La Rosa giving the signs to Marksberry. And here he comes. Fouled off to the right. That's 1-1 to Valentine.
Valentine, known for putting a charge into the ball. You'll see the middle of the infield is back out against the edge of the outfield grass. We've seen a lot of formations like this so far tonight. This is not anything new with the kind of power that the Road Warriors seem to be able to have. Doesn't translate well into home run power, but they really put a lot of heat into the ball. Swing very hard.
Road Warriors ranked 6th in the Atlantic League in home runs, as that is a called strike on the inside part of the plate. Valentine not having any of it. He's not too happy. 1-2 now to the designated hitter. Marksberry's had some trouble sometimes this year in innings, but I believe this could be a good confidence booster for him if he's able to get smoothly through this one, as that is ripped foul down the left field line by Valentine. Remains 1-2.
Looked like a young man almost made a nice play out there in the grass, but got under his arms.
Left fielder Daniel Aldrich is waiting on deck, and he's hoping that Valentine can find a way to get on base here. Maybe start some 9th inning rally.
Aldrich is playing well for the Road Warriors tonight.
And that is just foul down the third base line.
There's got to be some excitement for Aldrich. If Valentine can get on, it's an opportunity for him to add an RBI on the evening.
So he hits that one foul, so it's 1-2 still. Road Warriors 1 run, 9 hits, no errors tonight. Barnstormers 6 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. And that came way back. And that was with starting pitcher Nate Reed. Played a little soccer and kicked the ball. 1-2 is fouled into the netting, as they're going to do it again here in about 15-20 seconds. Marksberry's probably the longest waiting pitcher between pitches.
At least that we've seen so far tonight. Most of the other pitchers we've seen have been moving the game along pretty well.
As that one is hit hard down the right field line this time, but also going to get foul again. So again, it'll be 1-2. No outs here in the Road Warrior part of the 9th. They trail by 5. So they're going to need a big inning if they want to push this game any farther. Barnstormers 3 outs away from getting a 7.5 game lead on top of the New Britain Bees in the wild card hunt. Off-speed pitch down in the dirt. Evens the count up at 2-2. As
Barnstormers are up 6-1 right now. We've said it a few times. Just want to keep everybody up to date on what's going on. 13 hits to 9 hits for the Road Warriors. 2-2 count.
Marksberry's pitch is low and away. It's going to run full. And now weather-wise, it's saved the best weather for last. No breeze right now. And no rain falling on the ball field. So we're going to get through this one clear.
If anybody's going to hit a home run, it's probably going to be right now. Valentine is a pretty solid hitter. As we've said before, has a lot of power.
Fouls another one off.
The breeze has probably been the limiting factor tonight. Some of our best home run hitters on both teams have only been able to get the ball in the air, maybe not out of the park though. So maybe some late game excitement here. Nothing doing right now. No outs, but no men on base as we're just getting this inning off.
Marksberry just looking for that one pitch that he can get by Valentine. He's not going to get one by him, but he's going to get him to ground out to second base. Noel comes up with it and slings it over to Hobson at first. And it's 1 away here in the top of the 9th. We are 2 away from wrapping this one up.
Road Warriors are starting to feel a little bit of that pressure now. They're down to only 2 outs to try and get this done. I'd be surprised if they can. There's a lot of absent-mindedness, I guess, it looks like, from the Road Warriors dugout. Everybody's just ready to get this game done. They're looking to roll over, essentially. Daniel Aldrich, the person batting right now, is probably the most excited about this opportunity. He's having a good game. Doesn't want it to end here. And
another lefty v lefty matchup. Aldrich is in as he fouls this one back into the seats. Takes a couple crazy hops. 0-1. Armindo Escobar, the Road Warrior catcher, will wait on deck. 0-1 the count. One away.
Cheers you're hearing are for a young fan who just recovered that ball. Looks to be about 4 or 5, so it's always great when a kid can go home with a nice souvenir, even if it's not a big home run.
That breaking ball kind of got away from Marksberry. Never got that good break on it, really.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
As it stays inside to Aldrich. It's 1-1 now. Barnstormers looking to improve to 55-39 overall. And a 17-14 record as Aldrich swings and misses at that one.
That was a high heater. Recorded at 89 mph on our system, but we can't say enough how unreliable that is. That was got to be mid-90s. Marksberry, not known for necessarily his longevity. When he gets his arm pumping, he can get a lot of good outs here.
1-2 now. The pitch from Marksberry. Swing and a miss!
Oh my lord, that was dirty.
Aldrich is down. He flips his bat and drops it. It's just that kind of night for the Road Warriors. It's going to be another loss for them as they got one out to deal with here. And it's going to be the catcher, Escobar. He's their last breath of life as it's 6-1 here. Marksberry is going to try and hustle this part along now.
Marksberry getting himself organized here. First pitch.
Swinging a big miss as Escobar ended up almost tripping and ended up in the other batter's box. That's how hard he swung at that one. 0-1.
Marksberry's feeling it now. The crowd is excited for this game to come to the conclusion we've all known it was going to reach, even back from probably that first or second inning.
Popped up in the air. Hobson and De La Rosa giving chase. But it's going to get foul back down the first base side. 0-2, and now the Road Warriors are down to their last strike of the night.
Wouldn't quite say the crowd is on its feet, but we got lots of cheers, lots of claps going on. People are excited. They know what's about to happen. Marksberry's going to finish out this game clean, going 1-2-3 after the long first AB.
A solid pitching performance from the Barnstormers tonight, and pretty solid defense. That pitch is outside. 1-2. They've only had the one error, and that came from the guy that does the one errors. That's the pitcher.
Yeah. He kind of created a bit of his own snafu there. He went to make the play himself, couldn't quite make it happen. I don't really blame him for that. They don't call it a PFP for nothing.
And Marksberry, the 1-2. Popped up into the air. Hobson gave it a look, but it's going to get back to the first base side again, foul.
Escobar's staying alive. I'd expect Marksberry here to try and go for the inside pitch. He's had 2 on the outside. Big guy's going to have a hard time getting his bat around real nice and fast, especially on the inside part of the plate. He's going to have a hard time tucking. I'd really like to see something high and inside jam Escobar. Either get the slow dribble on the inside part of the infield or just a strikeout altogether.
Time called by Nate Caldwell, the home plate umpire. As it is still 1-2. Marksberry gonna try and end this one right here. 1-2. Hit high into the air. Shallow left field. Bortnick and Trayvon coming in, but it's gonna be Trayvon Robinson calling Bortnick off. He'll make the grab, and that's gonna do it in this one. The Barnstormers are gonna go home happy tonight with their fans. 6-1 final score here. 6-1 Barnstormers, 13 hits for the Stormers, 9 hits for the Road Warriors. No errors for the Road Warriors. Barnstormers come home with 1 error tonight. Good overall performance.
I'd say so. A 3-hour, 10-minute game on the button. That makes it 4 in a row for the Barnstormers. The last time we saw them playing this way was probably the beginning of the season when they were making a run at the division with Sugarland. What do you think about this, Evan?
I think this was a good performance overall. Like you said, they're trying to get back into that beginning of the season form when they were definitely the best team in the league overall by far. Weren't able to hold on to that lead, but now four-game win streak, 7.5 game lead for the playoffs. I think they're making a good push now with a 17-14 second half record now.
I thought it looked like they really got hit hard when they lost Joey Tadoslavich. He was one of their best hitters. They've been trying to really refine their offense, trying to restructure the lineup that was more or less built around him. I don't know if we would have said that at the time, but without him, it looks like they're just kind of missing a big piece. Casey Hobson's starting to get hot. He's coming back into the middle of the lineup, which they definitely need. But Jimmy Paredes, probably your MVP of tonight's game, might even end up being the MVP of the second half for the Stormers. He's just doing extremely well, and he's getting the spark that the Stormers need, providing that connecting piece.
Good find for the Barnstormers, and manager Ross People was able to sign him and bring him in. Started off a little slow, as we said earlier, but he's been really hot lately, being able to step in to that role that Joey Tardoslavich in what he was as a first baseman. As we're getting a little feedback from Phil Cunningham here. Thank you, Phil. And when Joey left, you could see like the lineup changed every night. As even tonight, we had a completely different lineup from yesterday. As in Rico Noel jumping into the second spot when he was in the 9-hole last night, and all different types of stuff like that. But excuse me, Barnstormers just able to piece that offense back together now, and losing Joey was big, but Jimmy's been able to step in now. Joey for Jimmy.
You never want to call it this early, but the Barnstormers have now a 7.5 game lead over the wild card spot. You really think that they're going to be able to hold on to that the rest of the season, and I think they'd probably like to find some consistency before going into the playoffs. They're probably going to be the 4 seed overall. The way things are going to work out, they're going to spend a lot of time on the road if they can get into that playoff type of position. But the big O that we saw tonight should probably be able to propel them. If they can keep doing this despite the transitions, it's not really going to matter much if they can find their groove, because they're in it with juggling around. We saw 6 runs tonight. Like we mentioned, Jimmy Paredes being a big part of that. Darian Sanford providing a lot. You look for Blake Galen normally to do well, but he wasn't there. But overall, a great offensive performance. I want to talk a little bit, Evan, about the strategic pitching changes we've seen. A lot of lefties, a lot of one-inning opportunities, and maybe pulling Nate Reed a little bit early. What do you think that's all about?
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Nate was chasing that Barnstormer career strikeout record. He was able to get it early in the game, but overall, I just don't think he brought his best stuff tonight. Giving up too many hits for normal for the ace. Only gave up 1 run, which is completely okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in any kind of situation, you're giving up 1 run. That's what you like to see, but he's putting himself in a lot of jams. He knows himself well. We said before, Ross Peoples knows what he looks like very well. He just doesn't have the kind of shutout stuff you normally expect. He had 6 strikeouts in his last outing, only 2 tonight, just enough to get that record. But I think pulling him was more of a preemptive effort. They had a nice, fresh bullpen, bringing in a steady diet of lefties.
Right, they had that fresh bullpen because with yesterday's game only going 4.5 innings, they had Joe Gardner on the mound the whole game, didn't dive into that bullpen at all. They got what they wanted tonight. Nate went 5 innings, then they bring in mostly lefties, and then Granite's the right-handed submariner. So that was able to throw off the Road Warriors batters all night, and then only using these bullpen relievers for only 1 inning, keep them fresh, have your whole bullpen available for tomorrow's game,
right.
And then a big series coming up this weekend against Sugarland. Just very important to keep your bullpen guys fresh.
That's
and I
right.
think they did a good job with that.
If they can get the win tomorrow night, that'll be 5 in a row, heading into probably the most important series of this second half. They can make up some significant ground, even in the division standings, which are just this will be very exciting. A couple more things to talk to you tonight. I guess they're probably fairly related. The weather and the lack of home runs we've been seeing. This is the second night in a row without any home runs. Second night in a row with some weather, rain, blowing winds. Do you think that's related, or do you think the pitching is just getting to the Barnstormers as well as the Road Warriors? Neither side has been able to go deep.
Even though we haven't been hitting home runs from either standpoint. I'm going to talk more about the Barnstormers side of things. We haven't been hitting home runs, but tonight, 13 hits, a couple right off the top of that right field wall. I mean, a couple more feet. We could have 2-3 home runs tonight from our Barnstormers hitters. So I don't think the weather's been too big of an issue, but at the same time, you never know. Weather's been a factor all year. Very annoying for these hitters. But I just don't believe the weather's been too big of a factor. I think mainly just getting good contact on the ball. We've been able to do that last couple games.
That's awesome. All right, Evan, that's all I've got. You have anything to add?
Just keep this streak going. We got 4 in a row right now, 7.5 game lead, 17-14 this second half, 55-39 overall. Taking the first 2 games of this series. We got one more game to go tomorrow for our big series against Sugarland. Then another big series against York. It's going to be a 4-game set on the road. But besides that, Barnstormers got to keep doing what they're doing. Last few games, and I believe they should be A-OK down the stretch. We got 1 month of baseball left. They should be good to get in for that last spot in the playoffs.
All right, thank you, Evan. As we near the end of our broadcast, thank you to everyone that's been listening. This was our last night broadcasting here consecutively. But stick with us. The Barnstormers will be broadcasting almost every day. And you can always buy tickets, get out to the game yourself. Big game tomorrow. Look to make the sweep. Congratulations, Barnstormers. Everybody sleep well.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, Barnstormers, 6-1 win tonight over the Road Warriors. We'll see you tomorrow.